Greetings, everybody. My name is KG Prestige, and welcome once again to our final session of the year. Wrapping things up with what I think is a beautiful way to end things off for the Anipoke scene. In case you guys aren't aware of right now, we are doing a multi collab with various channels out there alongside with our folks here, the Anipoke Bros, as you can see in the logo here to the left. And we are doing a celebration for anime, whether it be for journeys, whether it be for the reviews of the various series with, Lumia's trainer Zach, all those kind of good stuff. It is a collaboration that we've been working on for so long, and finally we are now doing one live in front of a live studio audience, I'd say, with all you wonderful folks. Folks, welcome to the PokePod World Podcast slash Anipoke Bros collaboration night. With me, of course, I have a lot of wonderful folks to introduce. I want to go and say hello to the ones that you might already be familiar with. So let's get right into it. We got TSS here.
How you doing, folks? And remember, it's Anipoke, not Anipoke.
Yeah, I just like saying that way. Richie, of course, otherwise R. Farley 97.
Yeah, shout out to the people in the Discord who thought, oh, is Richie going to be on? Well, now you know.
Now you know. JPRPT 98.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What a wonderful morning it was when you have nacho fries at your disposal.
Yeah, there we go. And now, from the other side of the scene, of course, from the Anipoke brothers, we got ourselves none other than NTD Maze. How you doing, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, Kevin, on the stream?
And none other than our pal Raf as well. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having us.
And first of all, thank you guys for even allowing us to collaborate for the final year here in 2020 with these multi-videos we have planned. For all of you guys that have already seen thus far with the X and Y review in Lumia's Trainer Zach's channel, as I pointed out before, and the more recently released video from JPR with Raf and Tyrone, if I'm correct.
And Terrell. Don't forget Terrell.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's that other member as well that you had in the X and Y review. Who was that again? Zoro, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so your quote-unquote fourth member, as you guys been memeing about on social media.
More like him. He did that.
What do you mean? These people can't even get 3. How can he count to 4?
Yeah, that kind of begs the question: what the hell exactly happened? I feel like
what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to get on a fucking 12 bus in the 4 train and get my ass to fucking Zach and pull him over here to get him on the fucking show.
Yeah. I do want to say to everybody here in the call though, there is a clip that I received not too long ago that fully explains exactly what's going on. So I'm going to keep myself quiet as well for everybody else to take a listen. You guys have fun with this video.
And, hey,
let's take a look.
where's Zach?
Good morning, Agent Z. The evil shiny Zoroark is up to his old tricks. Rumors tell us he's planning to reply to members of the Anipoke community with cringy Serena comments. As always, Agent Z, it's imperative that you lie to Ben and Raph of why you cannot make it to the reaction. Now get out there. We're all counting on you.
And there you go.
It did so well. It's more than perfect that we ever needed it to be.
In conclusion, Zach, you're fired. We're bringing Zoro on right now.
Yeah. So, where are you at, my boy? You were supposed to be the chosen one.
I'm the fucking lasso of truth in this bitch.
Oh, man. First of
He
all,
better be on speed dial, I'm telling you that much.
yeah, he's busy handling some shit with Zoro right now, so we got to see how that turns out at the end of this session. But thankfully, though, everybody that we have present right now is here, and we have a fun session for tonight. Coincidentally, this wasn't planned, by the way. We just happened to land our podcast night in the same time that the new trailer for the new year had released, which I didn't expect that, honestly. So clearly we're going to be talking about that, as well as talking about, a little bit of celebrating the first year of PM 2019, because the first year has come and gone. It only feels appropriate because we've done this before in past generations to focus on the year that has been given to us with PM 2019, talk about some of the pros, the cons, all that in between, and see how it stands up amongst others, as well as what they could do in the following year, which is with the preview that we got, to kind of see where they intend to go with the storyline. Are they going to fix some of the issues that fans may have had complaints with, or maybe they're going to take things in a different turn? None of us can say for certain, but it's still something that I'd say is a little fun discussion to get into. So, as you guys already know, during the first hour, we tend to kind of just, BS around. We tend to do whatever the hell we want, because that's
Except
always
we're not.
Yeah, except for this one. This is I was gonna say that. Don't worry. I'm saying for those who might not be aware of, if they're newer.
Yeah, usually,
folks.
yeah. If you see us like every Monday night, we usually spend like the first hour talking about real life stuff, other things beside Pokemon, because
Yeah.
we believe that general podcasting is cool because things might happen. It's like hey, I fell on the street today. It's like, what? But it's like stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So using that as a segue, Raf and Ben, what do you guys think about the recent developments in the Bitcoin market?
What?
Oh, fuck.
Well,
That's a pretty
Hey,
big
you
question.
guys signed up for
Funny you
this.
say
You
that.
guys signed up for this.
it's funny you say that because I've actually studied Bitcoin back at university, and
Ooh.
I've learned about the blockchain, and we've done some minor investigations for my degree about it. However, I have actually noticed that there's a lot of other different cryptocurrencies that are starting to spark up right now, and especially in the stocks as well. Are you guys invested in Bitcoin as well?
Well, hang on there, buddy. I wasn't expecting
hold on there,
actual-
partner.
Well,
How the
what's
tables
funny?
have turned.
You know what I should have done? I should have jumped on the Bitcoin bandwagon back in 2007 when it first started because if I would have gotten one Bitcoin, I could have sold it for like $20,000.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What is he doing here?
Did I
Yeah.
miss
But
the
wait, what?
Bitcoin conversation?
Wait, what?
Yes, you did,
So-
Tyrone.
Son of a bitch.
Wait, you
don't
hopped
wanna
into
be
the
in the
stream for
crossover.
Bitcoin?
He wasn't going to come unless we talked about it.
Wait, you weren't gonna talk about Bitcoin, KG? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I mean,
What kind of crossover is this?
that was one that I was not expecting, honestly, but I'm very happy it exists. Well, first of all, welcome, Tyrone. Glad to see you here.
and thank you, XSlayer64, for the follow.
Thank you.
I don't know how long I'll be here. My time is limited, but I do have a announcement that I will have to say before I do leave. So I'll
All
just
right,
keep
man.
it in my back pocket.
All right, don't
All
worry,
right,
but-
Tyrone, you're fired.
Hey,
That's hey, we said we were gonna hold it until he leaves, not until he shows
getting a
up.
permanent- that's-
Now
that's
he has
like
to
get
keep
Terrell
that in
in
his
here.
He wasn't
mindset.
even in like
that's
a
a
minute.
permanent
and he's already
vacation as
gone.
far as I'm concerned.
Terrell and Zoro are going to be our replacements for Zach and Tyrone now. We got to reform the group as we go.
Oh
do you
God,
think?
what's
Yeah, I
happening
mean,
to
hey,
our
drop the
group,
cut.
man? We're just taking shit from other
What
people
the
now.
fuck do you think this is, Play-Doh? Like, what do you think? We think we can mold shit together?
I can't
Hey,
do that.
we've done crazier things on the fly before. Let's be fair.
That's true. That's true.
I'll trade me for Zach for one session, then, and I'll be with you guys in the Anipoke side for a bit.
Damn.
Doing a reaction.
Hey,
one
hey,
day.
you guys get Zach for one turn as well, okay?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh man, but still.
Alrighty.
Yeah, there's a lot to go and discuss for tonight. Once again, Tyrone, welcome aboard, and to everybody else here in the call, thank you guys so much for taking your time as well to join for this wonderful session of the night. To all our wonderful and beautiful viewers out there as well, thank you for hopping in and tuning in to tonight's session. We got so much to get into, so let's get right into it. First thing I really want to talk a little bit about that I think is important for the Anipoke scene as well. We're celebrating Anipoke content creators earlier today, which is
Oh,
something
yeah.
that I
Yes,
feel
yes,
like
we did.
is very important to kind of spread the message to other viewers here who might not be familiar with this, because back in the day, in say during the X and Y days, like early X and Y, we've had very minimal content creators out there. It was like just maybe 4 or 5 at best that most fans can recognize, and some had come and gone, unfortunately, at the era where they had been hit by copyright claims and strikes, and
Back to the great show pro.
yeah,
Disney.
the show pro era. Hell, even back in X and Y, we got hit by it, but thankfully it never got to the extent that it removed our channels at that time. But we were lucky enough to still at least get to tell our story in that era from beginning to end. And as we moved on into Sun and Moon, it's become this beautiful growing community that I never thought would pop off the way it did with so many new faces that we have here. We got to see, of course, the growth here for the Anipoke Bros with Lumia's trainer Zach, with Ben, with Raf, to see the new generation come in and start just shining through in the Sun and Moon era. We got to see some new folks hop into the mix, with Zoro, with Trey, to name a few, and even some, and then the conversion into like podcast sessions that you see now with us here at the PokePod, here at the Anipoke Bros, or even the Poke Chat live that they tend to have with the deluxe version.
Sean.
And maybe one day Goggle will fix his audio, which I've been trying to convince him to do for like the last like 4 months.
Yeah, damn it,
Even
Goggle.
when he's not here, he's still somehow involved with this shit, man. But yeah, so no, we love and appreciate you.
We all love you guys.
Yeah, we all love you guys,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, you're all great.
It just makes me so happy to see that the Anipoke scene that started off with single digit content creators have now blown up to double digits. You see like to 20 to 30 different content creators out there creating things about the Anipoke scene. And I don't know how you guys feel about that in general, but to me, seeing the beginnings of the Anipoke scene to where it has become now is such a blessing, because I always love it when I see new faces. It's always important to have new people in the scene, because having new people give new opinions on something that maybe you're one-sided on, that they decide to share a different opinion, or they don't agree or disagree, it's stuff like that I appreciate a lot. So it makes me happy to see that the Anipoke scene has grown.
I'm not an individual artist anymore.
Yeah,
I thought they only wanted to start doing content to make me feel old.
Oh man,
Yes.
I could just tell you the year this thing came out, and you would already turn into that. What was it, the fucking Matt Damon scene where you just turn into
What's up, guys?
you just get all old and shit.
What's up, guys? PokeTuber98. TS is
Let's
TS
see.
is a boomer. How's it going? Boomer. So anyway,
Fucking
the
Left 4 Dead.
Exactly. So anyway, the Pokemon episode happened, right?
Sure.
Yep. More filler.
Yeah, sure. Let's put that one.
God damn it, with you and your fillers, man.
So KG, if we have time for, I guess, short stories, for our guests, Raf and Ben here, how exactly did you guys put together this dynamic trio of you guys and Zach? How did you guys meet? Because I know that for me, it was actually our comment sections that bridged me and KG together, and then I kind of met the rest of the group through them. I kind of brought TSSN with me. So
Yeah, because the fun fact for the folks that don't know, I first started talking with John first, and then I met everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, let this be a reminder for all of you folks that say, "Oh, comment sections don't matter." There you go. That's why.
Well, technically,
they
Richie,
definitely do. Because
Richie,
I got bugged
for Richie. We grabbed you from Tasso Official, so
Yeah,
technically,
we dragged your ass over here.
we kidnapped him.
Also,
Yeah.
this is also not the comment section, actually. The messages back in YouTube, if you recall, they used to do that.
DMs. They used to have DMs.
YouTube's allowed you to slide in the DMs.
That's right. I slid in KG's DMs because people would not leave me alone. They kept on leaving comments on all my anime videos, and they're like, "Why have you
I
not done a
messaged
video,
John on
KG?"
Skype. That's how I met
That's
him.
right. Oh my god, so long ago. So I'm curious as to what you guys' story is. What's going on with y'all?
The man of the hour.
Oh, we got Tyrone in here first.
How am I the man of the hour? That's my question.
Well, to be fair, we're talking about introductions and everything, and theoretically, you're the first in this entire group.
That's true. He's
the godfather.
Tyrell is like the progenitor of the entire Anipoke scene.
Don't put me in this pedestal.
Everybody, round of applause to him. Hey, how you doing, Serge? Wonderful creator right there for artwork, man.
Let's get the Anipoke Bros origin story, because I'm actually
curious.
I'm curious too. Please.
You want to start, Ben, or shall I?
I was going to say this because Kevin was talking about like how the Anipoke community has changed within the recent years. So I wanted to talk about that, and you can talk about how the Anipoke Bros got formed. Should we do that, Raf?
Cool. Yeah, go.
All right.
So I'll go first with like how I feel about how the community's changed as of recently. So obviously, most of you guys in this call right here, I didn't meet you guys, but I knew of you back in the XY days, and that's when I started off. I was incredibly small back then. But thanks to the Kalos League hype and Team Flare Rock, I managed to start moving my way up on YouTube a little bit. But in my opinion, even though Kevin said that he feels like everything got better within the Sun and Moon era, I would argue that, to be honest, because I felt like when the Sun and Moon anime happened, there was pretty much like rarely any YouTubers talking about the Pokemon anime on YouTube anymore because of how the series went in a different direction compared to other series. And that made me kind of sad because back in the day we had all these people, like speaking so passionately about X and Y, but suddenly they just disappeared. Obviously there was Chopra and all of that as well, but I know who, got affected by that, but there's just other people as well who just didn't want to talk about Sun and Moon. And that made me really sad because I loved how there was just like all these different opinions, like you said, Kevin, because it's nice to see, people have a different opinion instead of always sharing the same thing. It makes content far more interesting to watch, in my opinion. That's why I like the PokePod so much as well, because you guys often have conflicting opinions at time to time.
And it's raw too, which is great.
So let's see. But ever since Ash won the league, though, and Pokemon Journeys came around, that's when I would say the Anipoke scene on YouTube blew up, and we've got like 40 Anipoke YouTubers now, compared to like when we had 3 main people in 2019, which was, I would say, me, Trey, and Mr. PRB12. But yeah, now in Journeys, thanks to, Ashman in the League, it got everybody hyped into the anime again. And now I just love this unified feeling. And of course, we've got that Discord server as well. The Anipoke, we're literally speaking in it right now. The Anipoke Tubers Discord server where we all talk with each other. We all make these collabs. That's how we're here today as well, actually. The Poke Bros crossover collab. And it's so nice to have this feeling once again in the community.
Indeed.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I've got to say to that. And yeah, I never thought as well that, seeing Kevin and Richie and, the rest of you guys talk about the anime back in 2016, that I would soon be here one day. But
well, first of all, right I do want to say,
since we have 2016, I mean, come on.
Since we have this opportunity, man, congratulations. You've really pushed the scene for Anipoke in this incredible way you wouldn't believe it'd be. And I'm just amazed that, it's through all the efforts of you guys, both you, Ben, to Raf as well, to Zach.
Collaborative effort.
All the collaborations. You have no idea how much of an impact that creates for other folks out there who want to be something in the world of YouTube and content creation. It gives them that spark of hope. And you were the one that pretty much kicked it off during the final years of, Sun and Moon as we approached into Journeys. Because yes, I agree with the part of how controversy was such a significant deal at the start of Sun and Moon. But as things got closer to the end, more people started getting themselves introduced into the content creation. And I feel like with Journeys, it just spiked into something I never imagined would happen. Especially because, creating content like this on YouTube is not exactly easy. You always have to work around the loopholes just to even make it happen.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the dedication people are willing to take to go out there and risk what they can because they want to show people what they love and what they would love to, create, and their passion. That's the most important thing. And I'm just very happy to see that we've come in a time now where people are still divisive in terms of like how they view the series. Some enjoy this, some don't, but people still respect each other's opinion. And I think that's the most important thing. People still have genuine respect for each other instead of just going at each other's throat. Everybody is like, I respect your opinion. Here's my take on it. And that's as far as that goes, And sometimes you can even create new friendships like that. Not everybody has to be on the same page to be close allies with each other, You can have different opinions and you can still form wonderful bonds with that. And I still am so thankful to see that we are in that era right now where we can do that. And I hope in future years to come, we start seeing more and more faces that can be the next generation, like passing the torch and all that. That's always
Flare
something
Gamer
I love to see.
64 hit it right on the head.
I was gonna say that. That's why I just saw it.
Yeah,
Hit it
Ben
right
loves
on the
cinnamon.
head.
Well, I
Yeah.
would like to say that it's not even on the YouTube side of things that I think Ben and Raf have changed the game for. I mean, I look at just like their Twitter following and like the community that they fostered there, and just how big Anipoke in general has become on multiple platforms because of the influence that these guys have had. Honestly, that's the most impressive part to me, is that it seems like you guys are single-handedly fostering this incredibly strong community that is growing exceptionally fast, and that to me is incredibly impressive.
Hell, you guys even somehow got Pokemon's Twitter account
Oh
to
yeah.
do that big push for
You got
Satoshi's big win.
Arenero Channy, all that stuff. It's like what?
Yeah, you like you have to understand. Like I know, like maybe you do, but it's like to others that are smaller content creators out there, that's such a big deal because now they could see themselves like that in the future. Be like, I could be that, you know? I could do that in the future. That could be me a few years from now. And that's the thing I love about this scene right now. It's like we're giving people this sense of hope that yes, they can make it up there, that they can be the next thing. As long as they continue to push their passion towards what they love, you can be the next person right there to take the scene.
Realistically, what this whole, I mean, I've been in the community now, like online community now for 16 years. And all through the time, you know, through IRC chats and web forums and now social media as well as Discord, I feel that there needs to be a call for unity because there are a lot of people out there that will just go and completely rip somebody else to shreds just because they don't like what other people like. And realistically, that's what we don't need. We don't need the toxicity in this community. We need to be in unison. Even though we might have our grievances and disagreements, we all need to come together and show that we are a strong community. Now, that might be the exception more than the rule, but there are still people out there that will completely attack you if you say if you breathe on somebody wrong. You know, it's like what I mean. You know, learn some common sense, be respectful, and then we're gonna be in a nice, you know, unified community instead of a divisive one.
Yeah, agreed.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm just happy with this. But you know, anybody else here in the call would like to say something real quick before we pass this on to Raf's, I guess.
Let's pass on to Raf.
Story time.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear about this. This is something I really love to know.
Yep. Get right to it.
I can't remember the year entirely. Maybe Ben might be able to help me with this as well.
I'll jump in at any point. Yeah.
Yeah. When you mentioned, Kevin, about the YouTube messages, back in the old YouTube studio, I received a nice message from a certain rodent one day saying, "Hi, PokeRaf, my name's Entity Maze. I enjoy your content. I really want to work with you one day. Hopefully you can check out my stuff."
Raf, son of a bitch.
I deleted it straight away. I couldn't be bothered with this guy. I deleted it straight away. So I spoke to Ben briefly, and it was when that time that it happened that I actually started to jump onto Twitter a bit more, because I made a Twitter account officially for the YouTube channel that I had, but I never really used it. I would rather use the comments section. And do you remember back on the old YouTube channels there was like a discussion page as well? I would use that sometimes. Yeah.
Oh wow.
God, we're very old, you know.
But good old days.
Yeah, that pretty much died in like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
When this new channel layout came along, and
all the different layouts and everything. So I started to get to know Ben a bit more, and then I met Ben in person back in 2018. It was 2018, wasn't it, Benny? When we went to a convention called Summer in the City, which is basically a UK gaming convention.
That wasn't the first time I ever traveled for you, though, because our first collab, I decided...
For you, he says.
Let me get on this 40-minute...
The specialty. Yeah, go on.
Let me get on this 40-minute train just to watch Pokemon Movie 20 for my collab with Raf. Because it wasn't playing in my city.
Hey, listen, it was worth it, wasn't it?
That was
a hell of an investment. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We watched it.
Well, I was about to say, it seems like you guys are actually like, you know, real life friends. Like you guys have interacted a lot. In real life.
We have.
Living in the same country helps.
Yeah, definitely. Ben lives about, I think it's about 3 or 4 hours away from me. But whenever we have we normally host a convention in North London as well called London Anime Con. That's where you might recognize Ozzy used to do it with us as well, and PokeDan as well. and would talk to an audience about
And
why
sing
we
the
enjoy
Pokemon theme on
Yeah.
stage.
Oh gosh, we sung the Pokemon theme on stage, and that's all now recorded in people's camera rolls, and we're
I'm
never
glad
see
it's
them
going to be
again.
put
But
online.
yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be online somewhere. I have no idea where it is, but we can definitely search for that. But
And I
in
could do
terms of-
all the node analysis.
yeah, we can get the TSS analysis of that for sure. And then
Listen,
we
man,
can get a
anytime you
corrected
sing,
version.
TSS will make sure he breaks that shit down.
You'll
piece
get
by
a
piece.
glowing review from TSS.
And that's why we hate dealing with him half the time. It's always a critique about what octave I'm in. Just let me
And then in
enjoy the
terms of,
music,
like,
TSS.
Let's see. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
the wrong
first
beat
met-
came up.
For,
let's see.
As for Zach, though, I first spoke to Zach roughly around the same time I met Ben on Twitter. We done a collab for Sun and Moon, and we started to talk more frequently and become closer friends. And then one day, I was speaking to Ben, and we were just talking about how maybe we should get a group going with Zach because we speak to him quite regularly. He's
Oh, he
a
would
good friend of
always be
ours.
in my DMs asking
Yeah.
about what I think about the latest Sun and Moon episode.
Yeah,
That's what he was in your DMs for.
He was using Ben as an encyclopedia. He was using Ben as the encyclopedia.
legit.
But we made the WhatsApp group chat, and it was actually originally just called Anipoke. And we never had the whole section of the bros in that because it wasn't until that when we started doing more reactions and when we began the podcast series, it was then we decided to come up with Ben came up with the collective name of Anipoke Bros, and
Because
that's
we
where
call each other bros, yeah.
we call each other bro quite a lot.
What are you gonna do when there's a girl in your group?
Anipoke,
She'll be classified as a
Anipoke
bro.
and
She'll
sis.
be a bro.
Anipoke
Yeah,
bro
she'll
and
be a
sis.
bro.
Yeah.
It's like when the
added
Warner
extension.
Brothers go, we're the Warner Brothers and the
Yeah,
Warner Sister,
Warner
instead of
Sister,
being
yeah.
Anipoke Bros and Anipoke Sister.
Okay, so I'm about to drop something that I've never dropped before, other than maybe some people in the PokePod know. But this could be the reason why Zach curved me all those years ago. When
What do you mean?
we were seeking to expand the PokePod at the time. This was a handful of years ago, back when things were still relatively new. And I recall sending Zach a DM on YouTube asking him if he would like to join our podcast group, since he was about a relatively small channel, like kind of the same as me and KG at the time, also doing Anipoke content. And we were like, hey, do you want to join the podcast? Granted, YouTube DMs were on their way out at the time, so he probably never even saw it. But I was like, oh man,
Wow, that's news to me.
that man curved my
used to be a
DM
pro.
and joined a different podcast group.
Wait a minute, did we just
Oh
have
my
like a
God.
Nintendo PlayStation moment where we just tried to create something else?
Yeah,
And it instead formed a Pokemon?
yeah,
And
Zach's
the
never
other
told us
ones
about that. Oh my
I'm
God.
already in a
We
pod.
already. I'm sorry, but we already got the Hotel Mario out of the deal. That's the problem.
Zach had already signed the contract at that
No,
point. He was like, oh, can't help you, buddy.
Yeah, my podcast group is in another school. Like,
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's no school.
That I genuinely did not know. I'm not gonna lie. That is news to me.
so in an alternate timeline, Zach's in the PokePod.
That's right. If you go into the
So now
movie
it makes
universe-
sense why he's not here today. He didn't want to get exposed because he never told Ben and I. I didn't recall him telling
I
us
don't
anything
blame
about that, Ben.
he knew I
Maybe,
had
like
the
you
tea.
said, yeah. He missed out maybe on the
Should have
DM.
taken the photo of it. Fuck.
Honestly, I don't even think Zach knows, because like I said, Zach probably never even saw the DM. Like I'm assuming it just like went by the wayside.
I didn't think Poke Annie members were out here slipping in each other's DMs like this. This is a lot of.
I mean,
Hey, that was how we did business back in the day.
Wait,
That's
did
how we
Tyrone
do
do that
business?
shit with you?
Now we're all
I was gonna
casual.
say,
We
I
do it-
believe the first time I actually made contact with Terrell was because of that, because of the whole Terrell was doing this video where he would allow people to record a section of discussing which region in the anime was their favorite at the time.
Oh yeah.
And when he did that video, I sent a request to have my video sent in there, because I think this was back when we had video response.
Yep.
Yes.
Back in my day, we used to rate
Yeah.
videos
You
5
could
stars.
make a fucking video
5 stars,
response.
motherfucker.
That means if you had the effort, if you had the comments, if you had enough effort to respond to somebody by recording yourself, then that was your clap back. So
YouTube was a different breed back then.
yeah.
Very, very true.
Don't
That was
bitch about it in the
when
comments. Meet me on the channel then.
Well, listen, that was back in the days where we used Skype to record our voice calls.
Oh my God,
That was a whole. That's a
Oh,
whole.
isn't that where the myth of e-call came to be as well for us?
Yeah.
We don't
We
talk
do like the
about
more
it.
shipping.
Come on,
We do like the more shipping discussions.
E-call was so iconic that it's a fucking sticker now.
Yeah, we have it as a
Yeah,
sticker.
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Which you can buy now for $5.
I distinctly remember a certain more shipping
Look down
discussion
below.
where
We
I
have
think
merch.
Tyrone turned into a robot halfway through and never came back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god.
I remember that. Yeah, that was also during the microphone destruction days.
Oh, that.
goodness.
I mean,
that
it was
little
like
saga.
Tyrone was speaking through like one of those Darth Vader voice
No,
changers.
he sounded
That was his
like
early days in voice acting. That's really.
I mean, no, he sounded like he was in a fucking 1970s Wendy's drive-through.
Jesus Christ.
He couldn't help it. He couldn't. God.
I'm glad
A
the
$2 Mitsubishi mic.
I'm
Well,
glad the
Tyrone,
po-
what'd you think of this week's episode?
I'm
Ah,
glad
thanks
the
for your
Poke
contribution,
anime,
buddy.
I'm glad the Poke Annie community has grown to move on past such trivial things. But y'all don't understand, the grind back then was hard as hell. Especially if you wanted to do collaboration content. That was
People were scared of each other back in the
I'm
day.
actually really flabbergasted when I see, like, when I look at Ben's reaction videos. I think back to a time where if we wanted to watch the newest episode of Pokemon at the time, we had to wait like God knows how long. in order
That was
to-
5 days.
Guys, I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's not as bad as it was back in like 2004 and 2005, where you had to go on one Japanese
here we go.
P2P.
Well, yeah,
one Japanese P2P thing, and maybe if you're lucky, we're gonna get it 48 to 72 hours afterwards, and you have to fucking slam the enter key about 50,000 times.
To be fair, people didn't do it as much because they still liked the dub to an extent, and then the dub switch happened, and people went, nope. Because when I started, I pretty much was very much a person who focused on sub only. Like, now I know Tyrone very much disagreed. Like, he would watch video episodes raw and he'd be fine. I'm very much like, I need subs. I want to know the full context of an episode if I'm going to review it. And man, some episode reviews would be like a week or two late, purely just because the sub wouldn't come out. And that's partially because
there was some, and Terrell, I agree with that statement because there was some episodes where I literally had to listen to the subs. But there were some episodes where I look at, I'm like, I know what happened. I can see it's Pokemon. I can see what happened.
yeah, some of them you could get away with it.
These 240p images on Sergi were all I
like
had back then.
I remember the Diana
true.
I remember the Diana
still about now.
Yeah, but the reason why that is it's fair use.
Yeah, of
Because if
course.
you would have high
I
resolution,
remember-
they would get your ass.
I remember the Diantha episode took almost like 2 weeks in order to sub. I'm like, what the hell?
And that's why
That's when I
also
joined subs. Yeah.
That's when I was exhausted because I mean X and Y, I was already exhausted with Best Wishes. So by the time X and Y rolled around, I was like, yeah, I'm a that, and there were more people doing it. Like
And that's
that was
where
the other
the
difference.
also came in too. I came in and asked Terrell. I was like, "Hey,
He
Terrell."
asked me permission like I am the gatekeeper.
No.
Of
I didn't
Pokemon.
ask. No, he took it out of context. So I said, I was saying, hey, I was asking, should I review the Pokemon Y series since you're not reviewing X and Y anymore? And he was the only reviewer I saw at the time. I didn't see
Terrell
anybody-
has the patent to reviews.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I didn't see anyone else review episode after episode of Pokemon episode. I even looked. I looked to see, okay, did anybody else review every episode of Best Wishes? No, just him. Okay. And I was like, do you think I should review the Pokemon XY series? And then the way he took it as was me asking permission. I was asking for a suggestion, but I can see how it was. It looked like I was asking for permission. Because, like, why would you ask someone else to do a whole review of a whole series? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, it does look like I asked for permission. And then he goes, yeah, go for it, bro. And then I reviewed every episode of Pokemon X and Y. And then I think I met KG because he was in my since you like YouTube at the time also took this principle where it would recommend stuff that you're creating. So if you made a video focused on a topic,
Yeah.
recommendations would show topics related to that.
Yeah.
I saw that KG had around the same, if not a little bit more views than mine. I hopped over to his reviews. I'm like, hey, KG, you review the Pokemon X and Y stuff too. Let's have a before Christmas happens. Let's go ahead and have like a series breakdown.
And that was, I think, for like the first 10 to 11 episodes. I want to say
it was the first 10 to 11 episodes. It was.
And just to be fair, because people like the idea of Poke Annie to me is still kind of a foreign concept. Because when I started, there was no community for it. It was literally
there was
there was no YouTube community for it.
YouTube community, because most of the people were on either IRC or on web forums.
But since YouTube was like was kind of like the growing platform at the time, I didn't do it because I thought there was like realistically, and even still now, my best wishes videos are up, and most of those comments are full with people angry that it's not the episode in question. There's actually a community now because you guys, everyone from I would say KG and Tyrone all the way up to like the Benny Mazes and Ravs, there's actually a legitimate community there now. Whereas when I did it, it was literally because and the irony is that I was being made fun of in my group of friends who primarily watched anime. It was like, oh, you still watch the Pokemon anime? I was like, well, no, fuck it. Best wishes is starting. I don't want to watch the dub for Diamond and Pearl anymore. Let's fucking do it. And then so that was my thought process. And it wasn't
I always felt so bad for you, Terrell, because I would peep those videos and you just have like the thumbnail up and you'd say like, oh, this is a review, but people would comment, these smooth-brained individuals be like, yo, where's the episode at? It's just some guy in his bedroom reviewing the episode.
Bro, dude, y'all don't understand the fact that y'all have like the legitimate communities that like legit tune into your channels purely for episode reviews is great. Because when I did it, it was literally majority of the comments on those videos was literally, bro, where's the episode? Bro, I don't want to see this guy.
Like they thought they got clickbaited, but it was like, no, they just didn't read the title.
I used to put review as the first word in the title just for that reason. Didn't make a difference.
I'll tell you what, Terrell. I tell you what. I obviously I do reaction videos. I still get comments despite reaction being in the title and despite me saying reaction in the video.
God.
They still don't care.
Quiet, I want to watch the episode.
People don't care.
Right.
They still don't care.
If you want to watch the episode, go watch the episode.
Because people love when Ben hits fucking 6th and 7th octave notes and fucking 8 notes at a time.
Terrell's reviews the first time was that I was looking for the episode.
See,
but
that's the way it happens, though.
Complaining, I actually liked the fact that I got to hear some reviews because it actually changed how it changed my mindset on how I saw certain episodes, and I'm like, yeah, he's got a good point.
I bet Terrell hates it when I tell this story, but 10 years ago, back before I even created my YouTube channel, actually 1 year tomorrow is my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. Who's that? Hooray. But nice. 10 years ago, I had a friend in the neighborhood who we'd always watch Terrell's reviews. And that was like our only way of knowing, right? Because we didn't know how to find the episodes back then. We were like dumb, like 6th grade kids. We're like, we're just gonna take this guy's word for it. We're just gonna oh, that episode must have been good. That episode must have been bad, right? And then Tyrone was bringing this up earlier about talking in podcasts and stuff and connecting with KG. Literally, I met Tyrone. I think Kuro brought this up earlier in the chat. Met Tyrone in the middle of our second live stream together. We were in the middle of this Q&A live stream, KG and I, and then Tyrone pops in midway through the stream, and it's like, oh, nice to meet you.
Usual.
Yeah, we got them to introduce each other literally in the middle of a live stream.
Yeah, I think it's still true. I think we can go back and you can pinpoint the exact.
It's from 20. It's from 2015.
Oh shit.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But I think they changed the title too. I was like, it was JPR and KG, and in parentheses, and Tyrone too.
And I'm here too.
Yep.
It's been a wild ride.
Let's see, JPR. You know how you exposed Zach earlier?
Oh yeah, of course. All the time.
I'm gonna expose myself a little bit here, then.
So we're not going to be taken down for that?
Do I need to be involved in this one?
Keep your clothes on. That's all I care about.
Yeah, we're doing it. The censor bars ready.
I'm interested to hear this now.
Yeah, we just need the crazy mosaics and the freaking. It looks like you're on drugs.
I don't want it. I just want to keep going.
Richie, I'll bring that up too. I'll bring that up too.
Oh, then that's good then.
But okay. First of all, I was gonna say was obviously back in 2016, 2017. I was very upset at the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I was still a very huge XY fanboy. One day, up. Yeah, I grew up. One day, character development. Anyway, one day I turned on Twitter and I saw a tweet from someone in this call right now, and that was KG Prestige, and it said. Sun and Moon better than XY, and that pissed me off.
That's so many people pissed off.
To this fucking day, it's branded on my
Well,
fucking like.
KG
Obviously, he was
only gets
trolling.
on the internet to troll people. I kid you not.
No, well, it's the irony is that KG genuinely believes that.
That makes it better. That's
That's what makes it better because it paid the fuck off at the end of it all for me personally. But
to be fair, it was 50% odds, so you were on the 50%.
Yeah, man, that shit was a 50-50, but it hit hard. I do want to add something though, but I want to pass it on to Ben though, just to hear his end, because I do want to bring something up regarding the Sun and Moon shit though. Because that shit was absolutely hilarious. Because before we do that, I would just like to request, after all this thing, I would like to request like 10 minutes, because I would actually like to talk about the Coco vocal volume release. Sure.
Yeah, he does. 30 minutes.
Actually, no. It's not
don't lie to them.
No, it's going to be literally 10 minutes.
All right. Well, we'll save that for you then, TSS. But Ben, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, so like, obviously, I know now that you were trolling, and looking back at it, it's hilarious, those kind of tweets. And you still do them a lot, but people obviously, still get upset.
People got sensitive nowadays, man.
You weren't in the live stream. You were not in the live stream when we were actually playing Sun and Moon, and KG proceeded to like EV train on wishy-washies in the middle of like the second trial. We were like, KG, even if you find a shiny, you're not going to be able to catch it because you're in the trial. This man spent like 2 hours killing wishy-washies, getting level 36 Decidueye before the second trial in the game.
I was there for that stream. That was terrifying.
We were like, we can't trust this man with anything anymore.
Oh, but you know what made that better though?
No. We can't. No, the way that we can't trust KG anymore is because he killed fucking 400 something fucking Vulpix, or caught 400.
No, I caught 400 of those bastards in Let's Go.
400 fucking Vulpix, and then did the 7th gym before the 2nd gym.
Yeah, I hate KG has like the worst playthroughs on the internet.
Yeah, it's like
what 110%. If you want to watch a bad playthrough of any Pokemon game, go watch KG.
Even the comment section remember do Pider slaughter.
No, but I want to add something to that, because I think what made
the 7th gym before the 3rd gym, I bet.
The whole Lana shit that happened with that trial, what made it so great was Lana's quote where she stated, all the wishy-washy that you killed suddenly want revenge. And because like back then, it didn't mean much for people.
You know what? Hold on. I got an image for this.
It didn't mean much for people, because back in the day, it was mainly like 3 or 4 wishy-washy. I slaughtered those things for 2 hours. So in context behind my gameplay, that shit meant a whole different story. And it got so bad to the point that I killed the totem Pokemon before it even had a chance to even summon anything into the field. And Lana just banned me from her region at that point. Like it was great. Like we had that. We also had the segment where where we went to
was sit down in the fucking chair so you could fight the damn final boss in Pokemon.
And he goes to Pokepelago.
And I'm about to lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, and I had to do the tutorial.
He gets the whole tutorial because he'd never been there before, and he's about to fight the final boss.
Yeah, shit like that I enjoy a lot, man.
Lego, he goes off and chucks Pukamukus into the water for money, and I'm like, are you fucking insane?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. All right, but Ben, I'll pass this back on to you now, buddy. How things go for that? Because I'm curious. Because did you ever respond to that tweet?
Oh no, I didn't. Back in the day, well, I still to this day, if I have a problem with someone, I'm not gonna say it publicly. Because I don't.
No, you handle it in private.
Exactly. I say that, but something happened the other day.
Very mature.
Yeah, he just DM'd me and said this KG guy's a clown.
What a piece of shit.
Nah, but I love KG's trolls now. But another story I want to talk about is because
right here
is how me and Richie met, because I actually met him before anyone else I did in this call. Before I met Raf and all of that. I met Richie on an Ash X Arena or more shipping page. Where we were both admins on it.
Hey, listen, man, I had connections. What can I tell you?
Yeah, no.
What was that? You were weak. 2 10-year-olds, man. You were weak.
Connection. That's what it was.
Like, come on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had like a group chat with all the admins from that page that I would talk to him every single day. One day he disappeared, but you know what? Now here we are in the future once again, though.
Richie, you cheated on us. That's what happened. I see.
So you're telling me is it really is a small world after all?
Yeah, it's funny how everything
You've been out here
intertwines.
crossovering with other tubers. How dare you?
Well,
Man, that was
I think
before
it's
I-
just funny because
that's
most of
not
us
really-
knew
No
of each other
excuses.
before these podcast groups were even formed. Like we all just kind of had a general idea of who the other people were.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It all intertwines, though, and I love that feeling of unity. Yeah, like I said, I'd always see Kevin post stuff. Oh my god! One day, I remember, I forgot to say this earlier. One day, I turned on Twitter in 2018, and I got a tweet from JPR and Taz, and I think KG made one as well. It was just all three of you saying, "Oh, Entity Maze is the next big Anipoke tuber. He's making scenes in the community." And I was like, "Wow!" When I saw that on that day, and yeah. I just
I
want to
don't
bring
think
up
our
the start
judgment
of
was
that also.
misplaced. I think we did a pretty good call there.
Yeah, I'm happy with how things turned out, man. This is the future I wanted to see, and I'm so grateful that it actually all paid off in the end, man. It all
course.
came
It was
together,
worth it.
you could say.
Yeah, when I
Yes.
saw one
Oh
of
wow, even the chat just said that shit too. It all comes together.
Together, yeah.
I saw Ben. I saw one of Ben's videos just sort of been hovering around in my recommended too because Pokemon anime related, and I thought to myself, I was like, what are the odds that another generation Pikachu clone mascot is gonna take the fucking scene here? And then I kept seeing him alongside. I think this was around the time that I was watching Lumia Trainer Zach's League reviews. So the more I ended up watching his reviews, the more I started seeing Ben just show up. I was like, oh, Benedy Maze. Why is the name so damn familiar? Benedy Maze.
Oh, I remember you didn't follow me onto Twitter until last year as well. You'd always respond to me, and then you only realized last year.
Enrique VB Jr. 1991. Thank you for the follow.
Oh,
Thank
we
you.
almost got 100 viewers too. Let's fucking go.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
wow,
keep at it,
100.
chat. Come on, get more people excited. Tell people about the fact
remember-
that we're here.
I remember I
Wow.
followed Tyrone on Twitter for the first time, and he had this weird like possessed Twitter account that just like retweet like hundreds of things in the span of like 5 minutes, and we'd be like, Tyrone, what is going on? Does anybody else?
Yes,
No,
this was during the
know.
quote-unquote President Tyrone arc, as we
I
called
remember.
it.
Yeah.
It was
President
campaign-
Tyrone. What the
That's
hell?
what it was.
Yeah.
We said
Not
he
my
was. It was
president.
Thank you for the host.
2016. So we said that he was campaigning because there was so much stuff going out on his
He-
Twitter feed. It was like linked to his Instagram or something.
It was linked to his Tumblr.
Tumblr. That was
Dami
it. So, like,
DSL.
Nami
thank you.
deals. Thank you
This
for
was like-
following. Yeah.
everything that he had ever done on Tumblr just got like condensed into this huge Twitter mess.
Let me give context as to what happened there.
Hope
So
it was nothing suspect.
no. So the person I was with at the time, she was in charge of my Tumblr. Her mascot was Pachirisu. And
Our Ola dude 81.
And
Thank you.
since she was in charge of the Tumblr, she would repost stuff on the Tumblr, but the Tumblr was connected to the Twitter. I didn't know that, and it was that way so that people could actually follow me on the Tumblr site as well too. So every time she reposted stuff on Tumblr, it showed up on Twitter, and I'm guessing a lot of stuff gets reposted on Tumblr really fast. So you just saw this wall of shit that was.
There was like at some point, I think in like a span of 10 minutes, I just saw like fucking 20 tweets by Tyrone.
man.
What the fuck just happened?
Right, and it's extra weird because everybody's
Kevin, I
messaging
found
me going, Tyrone's at his campaign again. I'm like, the fuck are you talking
Oh,
about? I'm
man.
at work.
I was brand new to Tyrone's Twitter account, so I just assumed that this was the norm. I was like, oh god, what did I just get myself into?
I'm like, I'm not even there. I'm not even.
I'm never gonna get to read tweets again.
Right. So everybody keeps saying, "Oh my God, Tyrone's campaign is popping off." I'm like, I'm not even on the internet right fucking now. So how the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the context of what happened. I still have that Tumblr too, by the way. I mean, like, it's just not being heavily monitored anymore. But yeah, that was and I also heard that Tumblr was a crazy place. I believe we met our
Was.
friend.
Is
Well, it's not as much.
Yeah, it
these
is.
days.
What the fuck you mean?
Now, y'all don't hear people talk about it as much as they.
It's not as much now, to be fair.
I
Yeah.
also know that our friend, Polly, she's on there. She was on there, was or is still on there. I don't know, very heavily.
Oh yeah, I don't go in the Tumblr community like that.
Yeah, stay true to your nature.
You see,
I heard the Tumblr community.
you see some shit. You see some shit. Be like, well, all right. I think
The only thing the Tumblr community will be remembered for is a $17,000 ball pit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't think I would remember that.
you probably do. You just had that shit hidden way deep in your head.
No. I don't remember that, KG, and I don't want to. That's the point I'm making.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Don't ruin my night. That's what I'm asking you to
Okay.
do. All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we want to pass it off to TSS for his 10 minutes of talk?
I'm gonna go take a nap. Hold on a second.
It's 6 in the morning. When the hell did this turn into midnight?
You take it. Listen. TSS tells you 10 minutes. It turns into 30 minutes, and he goes,
No,
"See,
exactly."
Because unlike what I usually do, I actually have notes.
All right. Also, we always love these segments. We always call them the TSS Tech Talk time.
When the hell do you do
But
notes?
it's not. But it's not. What do I have? When do I have notes? When I actually want to talk about something
I am
without freeballing.
flabbergasted. All right, go for it.
All right. So a few days ago, we had the album coming. We had the album come out. Gekijoban Pocket Monster Coco Tema Song Shoot, which is the Pocket Monsters the movie Coco theme song collection, which is 6 songs from the movie, which I'm going to be talking about, and then also other tracks that Okazaki Physical Education released for the first time on CD, so we actually get it in full dynamic range instead of the clipped ones that we usually get on freaking iTunes and whatnot. So let's go to each one of them, but first let me go pros and cons, or cons and pros about the album. The number one con, this album is brick-walled to hell. It's just too loud. I hate this trend of albums being way too loud, and it kind of like breaks the tension between the quiet instruments and the louder instruments. With that being said, also there's some very bad vocal processing on some of these tracks, and that's why some of these tracks I will rank lower because of said vocal processing. Not as much auto-tune problem on this album as other ones, but pretty bad in the vocal processing. Not to say that I don't like vocal processing, because I like stuff by Strawberry Prince or Stuapori, like Daiuchu de Rendezvous, Galactic Rendezvous, which is on Yokai Watch's latest opening. I like that when it's on like tracked music, but not on something like this. All right, so first of all, we're gonna go to the first song. That is Okute no Uta, Song of the Law by Shinin. And it's just a basic march. It's just a basic like a tribal song. This is about Zarud, including that the lyrics like, Zarud stronger than anybody. Can you hear my footsteps? Can you hear my voice? It's the second weakest track on from the 6 tracks, just because it's just a tribal song, 1 minute. So next one is Beverly and Okazaki Physical Education, Coco, which is a song about the forest from Coco's point of view. A lot of people like this song. I'd say lyrically it's fine. But what kills it are the vocals, because of some vocal processing, and also the fact that a lot of the vocals are buried, and the instruments, and because the intro is fine, and then the first pre-chorus is fine, but everything else is just blown out and completely, and it just completely kills the notion of the song. And it's quite a shame. Some great bass slapping in the second verse, but it's buried and it's brick walled. So the mix is not that great. It's actually the 3rd best song on the album. Next track is Tokyo to Hiroshiritsu Nana Minori Primary School Choir with Mori no Humming. That is or humming of the forest humming. It's weak. It's the weakest track on the album. Not to say that they're kids and they're doing the humming stuff. It's a generic instrumental track, but it's the weakest one out of the 6. Next one is the best song on the album by Tortoise Matsumoto, Fushigina Ikimono, or Really Mysterious Creatures. There's very little to no vocal processing. And realistically, actually, I missed the song. I missed Show Window. Oh my god!
Yeah, I thought you were saving that. Actually, I thought you were saving that for the end.
Yeah, because apparently I don't know how to count. See, that's why I don't write fucking notes, because I fucking skip over things. So third track, Okazaki Physical Education, Show Window. Now, I will have to say that this is Okazaki's best vocal performance out of all of the songs that he has done. My only complaint is, I mean, the musical arrangement is great, lyrics are great, but my only problem with that is at the end of the verses leading to the chorus, when he tries to hit the A4s and B4s, he does have a few good A4s and B4s. Like, for example, on let's see, you know, A4s and B4s, they sound too vocal processed. So that kind of kills it, but it is the third best track on the album. Now we're going to go to Fushigi na Ikimono. Best track on the album, little to no vocal processing, very passionate singing. You actually can hear like kind of like vocal breaking, but in a good way. It's kind of like the passionate kind, and it's singing it from Zarude's point of view. And the breakdown on the outro is fantastic. Out of all of that, I mean, that is ultimately the best song on the album, and especially at the end where it's like, Ore wa kimi no pause to-chan-da. I love that. I love that part, especially at the end. And the last one, which is the second best song on the album, Kaida Kimura, with Tadaima to Akairi.
That's
light
the
vocal
ending
processing.
song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the ending, yes. And it conveys the message that the phrases, because in Japanese there's Tadaima, which is welcome home. It's like I'm home, and then Okairi, welcome back. They're always connected. The song goes into like the family bond where you leave for the day and you come back, and no matter what happens during the day, those two bonds can never be broken. Now, along with all this, the last two tracks especially, what I really liked about it was you can actually hear the release of the sustain panel on the piano. It's a really cool touch. And those last two tracks, you can still hear the dynamic range. So it's really well done. And I mean, I have to say, lyrically, as a songwriter, Okazaki Physical Education writes great music. And in terms of instrumentals too, very catchy, very nice lyrics. It's just that he's probably got to fire his mixing producer because it sucks. And also he still can't sing in a live environment. There's a video that I'll probably post, or part of the video, where he actually went on a live music video program and actually sang like Pose and Jadi Boy Jadi Gar, and he was flat singing. So take it for what it is, but he makes great music. So also, before we move on to the DVD, because I want to talk about the DVD real fast, interestingly enough, if you hear the full version of Jowdy Boy Jolly Girl, which is what I did for like the first time in the last few days, at the end of the first verse, there's no steel drums, because you hear like a triplet on the short version on TV, where you hear the triplet steel drums. That's only on the second verse on the actual album. The other one is just basically toms, and it just doesn't. I mean, why not just be consistent between the full version and the short versions? But actually hearing all those songs now in full dynamic range, like I said, it's a great album, regardless of the voice processing. Now we're gonna go over to the DVD. The DVD has the first 5 trailers of the movie.
Yeah,
Then it has, yeah. So then we have that. Then we have both versions of Pose, both versions of Jadi Boy Jadi Gar, and then, as a very first for the Pocket Monster series, Kimi no Boken is logoless and textless. There is no Sun and Moon logo in Kimi no Boken. It's the first ever release of a logoless and creditless opening.
I always thought that the logo was something that was pasted into the actual animation itself. But this is the first time, as you pointed out, that The logo is just not there, but the animation that makes the logo is still there, the bubble effect, because it merges into like the Sun and Moon logo, but the Sun and Moon logo is not present in that thing, which is something I pointed out on Twitter, because I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Anipoke do that before.
And it was indeed, because it's thanks to, by the way, NBC, which is part of my PocketMonsters.net staff, and Filippo, just to have a credit, give credit where credit is due. Because I noticed that it was like, wait a minute, where the hell's the Sun and Moon logo? It's not here. Because normally, if you even go back to the days where we're fucking Perfect Best 1 and 2, 2004 and 2007, even the 10th anniversary, they all had logos. All of them had series logos on them. But this is the first release that doesn't have a logo. Yeah, apparently so, because TPCI uses some of the footage for their openings. So they have to have it logo-less and creditless. It's just that it was never released, like the logo-less version.
Something really
and then after
interesting
that,
to note, though, that is something new.
Yeah, and finally we have Kokoro no Noto, and then we have the making of after that. So it's about 28 minutes worth of footage, but and all of them, by the way, are the first versions, as per usual, for this stuff.
I am so frustrated Kimi no Woken was not based on the final version, and it was based on the first version, which is the one with Eevee at the end.
But that's the way it was.
Yeah, because I remember it took us like 2 years, I think, for us to get X, Y, and Z's final version creditless, the one where Zekrom 100% flies out into the field. It took us 2 years to get that shit.
Zekrom.
Not Zekrom, Zygarde. I apologize, Zygarde.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, Zekrom, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, thank you for Sorry, I'm busy playing N and Zekrom here.
But it's got a new form.
Are there actually that many lyrical songs in the movie?
There are about 5, and one of them's the ending.
Because well, to count Mori no Humming, it's a humming song. It's more of an instrumental, but there are legit 5 songs. The Fushigi na Ikimono, I thought it was the ending, but it's not. It's Tadaima to Kairi.
Also, one last thing to note, because this is also super important. You can support this legally. This is one of the very rare occasions where this album actually is available to stream, to purchase, and straight up own. Apple Music has it. I believe Spotify has it. Like, these streaming platforms actually have these things available for you to listen through legally. And that is something that we rarely get a chance to see. And it even includes the Sun and Moon ending songs, as well as the final opening of Sun and Moon, included in that batch as well. I'm very happy with that. I think even recently, Real's Mirai Connection, the second Sun and Moon opening, that also got released, available worldwide as well. For others to listen to. So
I'm guessing it's because SME, Sony Music Entertainment, is finally getting like worldwide deals with these streaming services, because I've noticed a lot more music, even Shokotan's music. Like
her whole album dropped, the True Colors or whatever it is.
RGB, But the only thing is, I think there's only one song. There's like 2 different versions of, like, for example, on Untitled, there's 2 different versions of RGB True Color. One has a song that there's 16 tracks on one and 15 on the other one. The one with the 16 tracks is only available in Japan, because only one track is banned, or it's not licensed, because it's the artist license. It's not counting. It's like I think it's just like some of these tracks, they're banned in certain countries because that artist doesn't have a specific license deal for that country.
So yeah.
So I guess the big question is, does this mean anything remotely positive for the potential of this dub? Will we get a better chance of music kept here, or what do you think about that?
Better send the groupie over to freaking Ed Goldfarb's house and freaking make him not go anywhere in order for that to happen. But that's
now listen. That may sound ridiculous, but it's actually a real thing.
Yeah, let him stay in his house so he cannot leave.
Oh my goodness!
Cannot leave to go to the studio, or just send Goldfarb to Japan again, so TPCI can use the music. Also, by the way, speaking of the BGM, not all the tracks here are done by Miyazaki. About 80% of them are.
Yeah, I noticed that Masuda was in a few of them.
Well, Masuda is there because of just the composition. It's not because of he actually made the music.
Right.
Yeah. Like the stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he was a composer.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, we'll probably get that that title theme at the very end of the movie. In the top.
Yes.
That's about the only thing we might
That's
get.
the only thing we're gonna get, and everything else will be actually, to be fair, at least Goldfarb actually uses real orchestrations for his movie score, so at least he gets a little bit of redemption, because movie 20s where it's actually okay. So if the soundtrack is about on par as M20, I wouldn't mind as much.
So long as it isn't one of those like stitched together wall to wall like movie 17, 18, 19. Those dumb scores.
So I
absolutely awful.
And I just got a message. Evie, I'm guessing wanted to join the group. I didn't.
Yeah, it's just that right now, obviously, with these conversations is what happened.
Yeah, I didn't even see it.
Well, we need to get into our last discussion here in a minute, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out, I guess, in just a minute as well. Yeah. All right. So I guess with that said, you guys ready to go into the final discussion for tonight?
Yeah,
sure thing.
Yeah,
all right.
And also, you guys are right. That was almost 20 minutes.
Yeah. See what we mean, man? To be fair, though, I also hopped into that conversation and helped extend
even
it
if
too.
I took your part out, it's still 15 minutes. It's still more than that. And to be fair, I'm not the person who nitpicks, but I'm talking to King Nitpicker here, so that's how we have to do it.
We love you, TSS.
Ironically enough, I'll just put this out in the open right now. The reason why I don't review PM 2019 with the same attentiveness is because if I had to do that, I wouldn't have fun watching it. So that's why I don't fucking do it.
Yeah. So
all right, KG, roll us in here.
Okay, ladies and gents, let's talk about PM 2019 as a whole then. Because as of right now, we have concluded things off with
Kuro is right. 12 minutes, 8.5 minutes of info, so I win. Thank you.
I had to stop watching everything.
He want to make sure he don't carry that L, man. That's just how it is.
That's funny.
But
I'm going back and checking the VOD. I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, we'll see in the footage later. But PM 2019, as I stated before, we ended things off with the Koharu and Eevee episode.
Over 100, thank you.
Oh, really now? Wow. We
finally broke the barrier.
Thank you guys for joining us in this celebration, guys. We really appreciate it. 102, I think.
Worth it.
Yeah, so what was I saying again? Oh, yeah, Koharu Eevee, that sort of stuff. It ended. And year one of PM 2019 has wrapped up. Obviously, we will be entering year two really soon with the fossil-focused episode, which I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn out. But before we even get into any of that, I think the most important part is to kind of focus on what the past has given us with PM 2019 and our overall opinions and take on it, and whether or not it is something to be concerned about or be excited about for what year two can happen.
We're top 5 in the talk shows and podcasts right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Nice.
We're top 5.
Hey, that is awesome right there. Yeah, look at that. We're in the mix between VTubers, apparently. Hey, look, we did beat one of the VTubers. By
Which one?
Yeah, there you go, guys.
VTubers when you got me and my dress from the other day.
Exactly, man. Only exclusive on the Anipoke side will you get shit like this, guys. You'll never get anything like this.
On the next crossover, we all need to have our 3D models ready and all of our voices put in there.
We're slightly ahead right now of Let's Talk This Week Google.
We're more popular than Google, guys. Let's go.
Yeah,
we're ahead of the VStreamer VTuber stuff happening right now. It's crazy.
All right, so let's talk about year one.
So year one has came. Of course, a lot of interesting things to kind of bring up regarding this before we even get into the debate. People have to remember a pandemic happened during the middle of all this, therefore caused a gap to the point that episodes were not airing during a certain amount of time, and even to the point that the film itself also was pushed back till this month here we are in right now. And we have to keep that in mind as we go and discuss this first year as well, with some of these issues that happen in between and episodes not airing the way they're supposed to or in the time that they were supposed to air. Let's take this opportunity right now to talk a little bit about what we view PM 2019 as with its first year, with its first 49, I believe, episodes we had right now.
Yeah, 49.
49, and whether or not they started off good with this first year. So let's pass
Right.
it on to some of the folks that are, of course, new to the call. We got Ben and we got Raf. I want to pass this one off to Raf first. Raf, let me hear your take on this. What do you think
Best
about
boy.
the first year for PM 2019 thus far?
It's been a roller coaster, if I'm honest. At first, I wasn't too keen on it. I didn't really like Go's character to begin with because he would just go out and catch loads of Pokemon. But I gave him a chance, and he's actually become one of my favorite characters now. I like his mannerism. He's showing off a lot of Ash. Yeah, he's grown a lot from Ash as well in certain scenarios, and I'll elaborate on those a bit later on. But up to episode 49, I think it's a good series. There's a lot to take away from it. Of course, we know it's been shown in a completely different angle, and during Ben's reactions and reviews, we touch upon the episodes briefly, just going over the pros and cons, and of course, Zach does his review series on each episode as well. But I think the one thing that I like about this series is probably have to be Go. I do like Go's character a lot. He's been introduced as, a dual protagonist and completely separate goal to Ash. Ash is out there doing the traditional style, whereas Go's represented the new style to catch and collect all the Pokemon to work up to his goal and catching Mew. There's loads of episodes where he's shown good signs of development as well, from even copying like a Rock Time Draco Meteor climb against Flygon and taking on Zapdos, showing confidence. Even like that episode itself, the Zapdos episode, we were all crazily thinking, is Go actually going to catch this Pokemon, or what's going to happen in this scenario? Of course, Big Bait came through from that, but it was just his character that develops, like him saying to Ash, I learned this strategy from you. And obviously when Ash was going through that period after he lost to B, even Chloe as well. I like Chloe's character. Chloe has been probably one of the most controversial topics in the community as well, saying how loads of people don't like her character. They think she's pretty pathetic. Why is she even there? I mean, of course, she's not always there. She gets minimal screen time. And when she is there, it's just either for a small glimpse or a certain scenario. And that's why I really liked the Eevee episode a lot, because we finally got to see her come out of her character and relate to Eevee in terms of confidence and, finding out what her true purpose is. So that would be a good thing to see later on in future episodes. Like we mentioned, obviously, briefly at the beginning when there was a new special preview trailer, we saw her riding on Galarian Rapidash as well. So we don't know what's to come from that, but there's a lot of nice things to take away from it. Ash as well. I mean, the main topic, of course, is, Lucario now. Everyone's thinking, Ash has finally got this Pokemon after 15 years, and now he's quote unquote, I don't even know if I should bring this up, the next Greninja, people think, but at the same time, I don't think that's the best comparison to bring it right now. Ash Greninja had its purpose set from day one. Lucario has just only recently evolved as well, and, we're waiting to find out what's so quote unquote special about it for now. I mean, we obviously know it's got the Aura Bond with Ash and, the whole gimmick of Aura Sphere being much powerful compared to the usual, but this is another thing that we can't really compare at the current time. But I'm really enjoying this series. Like, whenever I react with the bros and we watch the episode, there's a lot to enjoy, as I'm sure you guys saw Ben's season 1 reactions video going over the best bits and all the crazy moments. Yeah, and the highlights. But it's a good series. I think season 2, quote unquote, is going to show us a lot more for Ash, of course, and we're going to be seeing a lot for Farfetch as well. Oh my god, Farfetch, like another Pokemon that's just been shifted completely. I mean, the whole of Ash's team itself, apart from Pikachu and Lucario, have just been drifted. I mean, we got to see obviously Dragonite and Gengar do some quote unquote work in the Darkest Day arc, but Farfetch just been literally slid under the carpet like nothing's happened with it. But I'm really excited to see what happens in season 2. But in terms of season 1, it's series. There's some controversial episodes that I'm sure we'll probably touch upon later on, but I'm enjoying it, and I like covering the new information about it because it's really enticing, and you never know what can happen in the future episodes. Unpredictability is the best excitement, really. So it's looking promising. It is looking promising. I can see why the writers took a different avenue for Ash as well, just to follow the whole goal to try and defeat Leon and, quote unquote, world monarch status if he ever gets to that stage. But that brings more questions to the table later on, whether or not if he's actually going to, defeat Leon and what's going to happen afterwards. But I guess we're going too far ahead of that for now. So let's just enjoy the series whilst we can, and hopefully it brings more new viewers into it.
All right, man. All right, so let's go and pass this one now on to Ben. Ben, what is your take so far regarding PM 2019 as a whole?
It's funny because when it comes to my viewers, they're very confused about my opinions on this series, which is why I feel like I need to make a video one day describing how I feel about season 1 overall. But what do you know? We're actually speaking about year 1 here as well, so that's perfect as well. So like in 2019, I took a break from YouTube. I returned to do some reactions to Ash vs. Kukui and the 2 final Sun and Moon episodes. But then I disappeared again. I disappeared when Journey started airing. Why did I disappear? Because the new episodes just weren't intriguing me enough to want to do content on it. I wasn't going to force anything. Eventually, I did force it and decided to come and do videos on YouTube once again with episode 9, which was the Ho-Oh episode. What an episode to join on, oh my god. I mean, it's decent, but not exactly the most hype reaction ever. But obviously we had Dragonite after that. But yeah, starting with Dragonite though, that's when I would say I started to get into journeys, because from episode 10, I'm just gonna scroll down here to like episode 29 pretty much. I was enjoying everything I was seeing. I was having fun watching the anime every week. But then that Jealousy episode happened with Pikachu and Ash, and I feel like that changed stuff for me, because ever since then, Journeys has now been an up and down cycle for me. I would like an episode one week, but next week I would dislike it. It'll be something like that. So yeah, Journeys has pretty much been a roller coaster for me in that sense. Then overall, it's decent. If I had to give it like a rating, it would be probably something like, I don't know, 6 out of 10. It reminds me a lot of like the original series, but modernized, if you get what I'm trying to say there. And you know, we've got better animation and all of that, because you know,
current trends now with animation,
exactly. So yeah, that's all I can really say for Journeys, to be honest. It just always goes up and down for me at the moment. But with what they're looking like, what they're looking to do with season 2, especially with this new trailer we got, I am started to get a little bit confident in Journeys again, that it can start to be an up cycle instead of always alternating again now. Especially because, I don't know, ever since the Mewtwo episode as well, I've realized, and I said this in one of my videos as well, I've realized that they started referencing past episodes now when they didn't used to do that, because they used to be self-contained. And that's one thing about the series as well, that it's self-contained now, most of what we saw within this first year. And whereas it can work, and it has been working at time to time, just on other occasions, it does bother me quite a bit. I think KG put it best on Twitter, actually, and I've been using this quote a lot. Journeys' episodes are fun, but as a series,
it turns into a dumpster fire when you want to try to put everything together and make it interconnected.
That's what its problem is for me. I love watching the episodes. I mean, sure, there were, like I said, some where I don't like them, but still, as a series, I'm just looking more from it for it to intertwine again. Which again, I think we are seeing that a little bit more now. But yeah, I think the highlight for me for this year, though, and I think we all know what I'm going to say here, the Alola episode. Not only was it great continuity, more so than the Mewtwo episode, 100%. The amount of references, I made a 25-minute breakdown on all those references. It was just so wholesome seeing all my favorite characters return once again. That's one big thing about Journeys as well. Characters returning. At first, it was hype, especially during the Alola one, but I feel like it's soon going to start to lose that touch for me. I'm worried about that, because I feel like it's like, oh, we only want to get this much attention, but we don't really want to go all out of it. Because the Karina episode, for example, I remember Kevin talking about this as well. It was a nice battle, I know, but like, I wish we just got to see more continuity from within that, you know, like reference their past adventures and whatnot. Alola's a perfect example, that episode, of what to do, in my opinion, with that. So yeah, that's all I'll go on about right now. But yeah, highlight for this first year, Alola. Second highlight would be Riolu hatching from the egg, a Pokemon I've always wanted Ash to have. And as the series overall, it's decent, but I am confident that the issues will fade away soon.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, thank you guys for sharing your opinion on that. I also want to just hop in a bit on it since it's also now fresh in my mind here regarding what we talked about. You know what really ticks me off the most regarding that whole, Chloe or Koharu, however you wish to call her, development that was happening here. The one thing that really pissed me off the most when watching Journeys was that one statement that the director said about the lack of Koharu's screen time. And it was when they said that they needed to focus more on Satoshi's and Go's development before they actually decide to get into Koharu's development.
Frieza understander.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that was the statement that really ticked me off about Journey's first year, because I'll say this, they did it. What they wanted to do, they nailed it. They made it episodic, because clearly these episodes were meant to be seen on their own self and not put together as a story for majority of the time anyway. Until we got to like the final parts of the year where I felt that they started to string things together and make a bit of a good story. And a lot of the issues still are present right now, like Dragonite's screen time, Gengar's screen time, come on, screen time, where the hell has that thing? Where has he gone? In fact, I even joked about it because that new title card intro they have, well, not title card intro, but before the title card intro, they have like that segment where they show off Ash's new rivals and then goes Pokemon that he has to catch. Notice that animation when Dragonite's pushing Lucario to the side and Gengar's there as well. There was one Pokemon that was never present in that animation. Farfetch. He only showed up in the picture snapshot. He never was animated in that segment when all the Pokemon were being put together for the snapshot. I feel like the animators completely forgot about his ass at some point. And now I think they're going to fix it in the second year.
Which makes what we're going to talk about in the future of this video a lot more interesting in terms of how I see how Farfetch was being treated. But
which is going to get interesting even more, because I think this is going to also introduce somebody that never showed in the TV series, but actually showed up in the movies. We'll get more into that soon enough. But yeah, to me, Journeys has been a roller coaster of a ride. When the episodes hit hard, they can do amazing things. But when it fails, it fails dramatically. I still hate that Pikachu episode with a passion. It's not my most hated episode now, because that goes to Mewtwo's episode, but it's definitely still up there.
Still better than Drompa's.
Yeah, well, to be fair, nothing can ever top Team Rocket Baby Goo Goo Gaga shit. So that shit was locked in my brain. By the way,
I still say the Pikachu one is better than freaking Telescope Orgasms in Drampa. Sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. Your opinion is still your opinion at the end of the day. I just want to share my take on it, and personally, I just was not a fan of how they handled Pikachu's character in that episode. I will say there are moments in that episode that are still phenomenal. I mean, I still love Ash's mother in that episode. I think she was great in that one, especially with her connection with Pikachu and all that.
That's M79, by the way, if you want to see what that episode is. Kiawe freaking having an orgasm over a telescope.
Yeah,
and
it basically
a 3-minute gag that wasn't funny.
Basically, in other words, the Minior episode. I think more people will be more familiar with you calling it the Minior episode.
But pretty much in the first minute, you have Kiawe fucking having an orgasm. That's all I remember the episode for.
So overall, to just finish it off, like I stated, it was a roller coaster of a ride. I will say when it hits its ups, they are phenomenal, but when it goes down low, it is tragic. I mean, that Marshtomp episode is also another perfect example.
We don't fucking talk about that piece of shit.
I will actually talk about it.
That is a garbage fucking episode.
The fact that it was in the opening also ticked me off.
It makes me mad because it didn't deserve it at all. It didn't deserve that level of recognition. They put this thing in the opening
when I talk about it, then you'll understand.
Yeah, I know. We'll pass that to you soon. But it was in the posters too as well. Which is another.
Hey, I may be wrong, but I'm not dead.
Yeah, we'll wait for when that time comes where the second year we'll figure out the answer to this shit. But until then, though, a lot of the things, and ultimately this is also the last big issue I have. I don't know if you guys know this, but to me, the fact that we have to keep saying, "Oh, they'll bring it back up later,"
Yeah.
that is my big issue. The fact that I have to wait till later, which by the way, we're not even confident if they're even gonna show up later, because given past experiences with past generation, the XY example with the Malamar, like shit, you think they would come back, and then they just never show up again. We don't know the state of what the future episodes are going to be about, and I'm very concerned of that. So we'll find out later. For now, first year was a roller coaster of a ride. Second years, however, is looking like they're actually starting to remove this episodic nature that they tried to go with for the first year, and are starting to move into a more cohesive story that I hope pays off in the second year. Because if these flaws continue to stay relevant in the second year, I don't think the third year could potentially save some of the glaring issues that are here, especially if it focuses or if it lacks on the Pokemon development for Ash's side.
Yeah.
So that will be something that we'll wait and see. For now, let me go and pass this to anyone else here in the call. JPR, let me pass this one on to you, and to anybody else after that. Just hop on board regarding this debate. But
also, Ollie's here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You look at that. Well, actually, I don't know if she's here or if she's still setting up. Are you here?
She's here.
Yes. Dear Pod.
All right, I muted her. Anyway, let's get going into the next session.
Yeah, I think I'm already indifferent.
Hi everybody. All my favorite people are here.
All right.
Someone shut the door.
Don't worry, you're not muted for real though. Don't worry, you're good.
Okay, so my thoughts on the first year of Journeys, more or less pretty similar to what Ben and Raf said. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, and obviously I've been quite critical of this series, more critical of this series than probably any other series up until this point. So the beginning, the first 10 episodes, like Ben detailed on, wasn't really feeling it. I felt like it was easily the weakest intro to a new series that we've ever had. I mean, just no direction really until we got to episode 12 or 13, until we finally laid down like, oh, Leon is the goal here. Fine. I mean, we kind of expected that, but still. Then we had like a streak of pretty good episodes for the teens, I would say. And then the Backstreet Boys happened, and I don't know, episodes 29 through 30 to me, I thought were good episodes, but they were just, I don't know if they were out of order or what, because like that was the most jarring thing about it to me. Maybe it was always intended to be that way.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it's like between the Yomper Jealousy episode and the B rematch, just those episodes, the placement there irked me more than anything. It was like, did those just get messed up because of the Backstreet Boys, or were they always like that? I have no clue. We hit Darkest Day arc, which we are going to talk about in the other podcast, so I don't want to spoil anything. But anyway, I personally didn't like Darkest Day arc. I thought it was way too safe. Didn't do anything really original that the games didn't do. I think Darkest Day arc, this might be a hot take, it's probably my least favorite part of the entire series so far. I really didn't like it. Really didn't like it.
I mean, is he wrong though?
I mean, I didn't expect.
I can see why.
It's kind of.
I also wanna, talk for my boy Sergi here in the chat. Yeah, they ruined Team Rocket this series. They absolutely ruined Team Rocket. They finally returned to form in Sun and Moon, and now we're just getting this soulless gotcha machine, and they're not as funny. They're just, I don't know. They're just kind of there a lot of the time. Hate what they did with Team Rocket. Even like in an episode to episode manner, like when it comes to animation and music, I would say like I'm less impressed with the animation here than I was like in XY. I was like, oh, we have 3D backgrounds and the battles are all drawn out now. That's cool. And then Sun and Moon, there were like nice tidbits of like cleanly animated things through various Sun and Moon episodes that I really appreciated. Here, I don't know. It feels like the animation has regressed quite a bit.
Sun and Moon had worse background animations, realistically.
Well, they definitely had worse background than XY, I would say. But just like there's a lot of like.
Well, you gotta remember though. XY was freaking VFR 24 and 30. 24 and 30 FPS stuff. Remember, you got to remember the CG stuff.
Regardless, I just
so
like the way that Sun and Moon looked, and I thought Sun and Moon had some very well animated episodes, very well animated segments that you normally wouldn't expect out of Pokemon. And I appreciate it for that. Whereas Journeys, I don't know, there's not really anything holding my attention animation-wise a lot of the time, unless it's like an Awane episode, which those are always good. I don't even dislike Hayashi's music. It's just that, I don't know, I find that the transition from Miyazaki to Hayashi has been weird. Like, I like Hayashi, but it's just like, I need more game music at this point. Like, we've been hearing the same stuff for like a year now, basically, and we have 4 game remixes. I don't know. We need a little more on that front. It's just getting kind of stale. But like KG said, I think things are moving in the right direction because now we finally have Koharu as an established character. Looks like she's going to be a little more involved going forward. Looks like there's going to be more legendaries. Maybe Farfetch's going to get some more spotlight going forward. So, and I detailed on this a few weeks ago when they switched to the new time slot. And I thought it wasn't going to be like a sudden shift. It wasn't just going to be like, oh, we're on Fridays now, and then things are going to start having arcs and whatnot. No, it's going to take a few months for things to actually change, because obviously there are episodes that are already in development from before, right? So I think that we could see a change going forward in the next few months, and I hope that is the case, where things, there's more of an overarching thing, basically. First year overall, though, I'm going to say it was pretty weak in my opinion. I'd give it maybe a 5 out of 10. I do agree with the tweet that KG made a while ago, where it's like, I like the episodes, I just don't like the series. Between the pacing and the way the episodes are laid out, it's all just very, very strange to me, very inconsistent, a roller coaster, like many people have said before me. But yeah, that's my overall take on year 1 of Pokemon Journeys. Don't love it, don't hate it. Just okay for the most part.
I've got a question for you, actually.
Sure, go ahead.
Even though you went about the animation, I actually agree with the animation thing.
I thought Ben was gonna be like, "Do you like your kneecaps?"
Yeah, I feel like it was a downgrade from Sun and Moon in terms of minus backgrounds, of course. But what would you say was the best animated episode in your opinion? Because I feel like it was Ash versus Whiskies.
Which one? Which one did you say?
Whiskey. My favorite episode of Journey so far.
And that's episode 17? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I like that episode. I think for me, though, I'd actually have to go back to episode 2. I think Ash and Lugia go in Lugia. That was an excellently animated episode, but like you expect the beginning of the series to always be like their best.
I mean, if you look, I mean, let's just put this into perspective. The original PM series, after episode 3, the quality went to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say though, just speaking about that, I don't know if you guys ever seen that one tweet where they tried to show off the battle between 2 champions and then Satoshi and Whiskies. Did anybody see that video? Because it shows off like the intense high action fight that happened between Ash versus Whiskies, and then they showed off Leon versus Lance's or Raihan versus Leon.
No, Leon versus Lance, I thought.
Oh no, Leon versus Raihan's was bad. Like,
they showed that off.
Oh yeah, it was down.
Yeah, they showed that off, but they had like the kazoo music play in the background while the original music stayed intact in the original fight.
That is one other thing that I want to say. I think I'm not going to entirely fault the animators on this, but I think they're going to have to get used to how they animate Dynamax battles, because it's like in the games, the strength of Dynamax battles is you get to see the scale of Dynamax.
I mean, even Iwane commented on that, by the way. So
yeah. It's like, I think there's only one animator from episode 13, I believe, the one where Pikachu Gigantamaxes for the first time. I think that animator has a pretty good grasp on like the weight and the power of Dynamax, but it seems like the rest of them, for like all the other Dynamax battles, have been pretty underwhelming for the most part.
They just stand still. They actually do the game's animation. They just stand still. That's pretty much it.
They just kind of say like, oh, they're big and so they're gonna move slower, basically. And cameras zoomed out a lot of the time, you don't get that same sense of scale. They just kind of look like the same thing they normally would, except the people are really tiny.
Moved in Twilight Wings, and it's like, oh fuck.
I disagree with that because we have the issue that is Eternatus, the freaking CG one, which is like 8 FPS goodness. I don't want that shit. Sorry.
I I don't think they need to just make it like, oh, it's just big and slow. Like, no, that's not the way to go.
And actually, the funny thing is, Terrell is wrong because I'm going to call him out right now in the fucking chat. He's wrong.
Go ahead.
He's in the call
too. Yeah.
Oh no!
I'm gonna call him out too.
I was gonna go first.
I will
so
actually.
I give TSS.
Can I go ahead and go while those two beat each other to death?
So I'm gonna say this right now. 6.8 for this.
Really?
I think. Yeah, 6.8 for this.
Wow, I was expecting
6.8.
6.8 for this. It's still
but
too high.
But I've actually realized something that I just realized right now. I think the reason why the whole episodic shit has gone on is because of the Netflix influence. It wasn't because of necessarily that. Because I think that's the biggest problem. The Netflix influence, I think, killed this fucking series. Because if you think about it, they were supposed to be releasing.
Wise, I would have been more prone to making a plot-heavy series if it's on Netflix, because then you can binge it all in one setting.
Yeah, that's almost contradictory to what it should have been. Though.
But I get why. I also get what TSS is saying though too. But it's still, I don't know. Maybe that's my writers.
The other thing is that there are far too many Japanese references that people won't even fucking understand. Number one, the reference to the whole Piplup and Krogunk episode is actually because of a freaking winter festival that happens in Hokkaido every year. The next one is the Kazuking thing because it was based off of a famous famous live action one that. See, can't even fucking do my words correctly. Toshiaki Kazuga, who has appeared on freaking Pokenchi and also Pokemon Smash all the time. Well, not so much in Smash, but like Get TV. So they had to give him a role, and they've been giving like random characters, and this has been going on since Sun and Moon, by the way, where they would just get like random things. Even Abaredo-kun was in freaking Sun and Moon. As himself, but nobody fucking knows about that because everybody watches the fucking dub. So they're trying to get people, Japanese people, to watch the series. And the other thing is, I mentioned this before, there's a lot of people that freaking like shit on the official Anipoke Twitter because they spoiled the episode. Well, it's because they want to get people to fucking watch it there. It wasn't meant for you. Okay.
Please let me go next after I'm dead ass.
No, but I will say this.
Okay.
As part of individual things, I enjoy it. Like there are like tons of shit that's wrong with it, but we don't want to be here for 6 hours.
Okay.
The reason being is there are certain aspects of the series that I like. Music is good. I mean, Hayashi's music. I mean, I would say the remix for the Galar Gym theme is probably one of the best fucking pieces of music in this whole fucking series. And also the fucking dub replacing that with some like 3 shitty compositions that was garbage. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry for people who have to fucking deal with Netflix. Oh my god. I mean, we're talking about episodes where you have 0 to 3 fucking songs in an episode. And it's like music by Yuki Hayashi. Yeah, the biggest fucking lie of 2020 is right there. And get the fuck out of here. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you have fucking like, you have Akibo Kopal, whatever the fuck the guy's name is. That's a piece of garbage. Then you have the other guy who does the fucking farty ass synths. Get the fuck out of here. No, I don't want to hear fucking farty synths on my Pokemon. Take that and shove it up your ass. Okay. No, I am not good.
Well, to be fair, that's
I am not. No, I'm not good. After they treated Karina like shit and they treated her like fucking Zapdos, at least they treat Raichu with fucking respect.
You finally got a good Raichu episode. Thank God.
Finally got a good fucking Raichu episode after all these fucking years.
No, you got 2 Raichu episodes.
Two of them.
And they were both really good.
Yeah. And that's why it's a fucking 6-8 and not an 8. Okay? So it's not. So when they're on the ball, and yeah, freaking Darkest Day wasn't great either. But there were some at least redeeming factors. I had to fucking do the fucking Gigantamax Meowth and shit, which is fine. Other shit like that. The interaction between Go and Sonya was pretty fucking good in my opinion. The whole thing with the slumbering wheel, that was done fine. The last episode was a bit rushed, but that was okay too. But yeah, there are tons of misses. Like I said, the Marsh Tomp one, even though it's not the worst that I've ever seen, because there are worst episodes in like fucking Sun and Moon and fucking AG that fucking are worse than that. It was only there to get like attention for kids, because in all honesty, it's a fucking series designed for fucking family. Okay, so the fucking people that are analyzing the shit out of it too much, whatever, that's your opinion, but that's why I'm not analyzing the shit out of it, because otherwise I wouldn't enjoy it.
All right.
So 6-8. It wasn't a bad start, but I would say though that to be fair, even fucking Sun and Moon wouldn't know where the fuck they wanted to go when the fucking Satoshi's on fucking cocaine half the fucking time. I mean, seriously, like and even like XY had a start that I didn't like, that I had to fucking jump to Yokai Watch for a little while. Back in like fucking 2014, but I still fucking watched. I watched every single episode because I'm a fucking dedicated fan who has watched the Japanese version since October 7th, fucking 2004, and I haven't fucking stopped. Even during Sun and Moon, where I had a fucking 8-episode gap, I still fucking caught up because I'm a fucking fan. Okay?
Oh,
take
wow.
that in your pipe and fucking smoke it.
Before we continue, though, I want to give a shout out to Roger, the guy 11. I hope I pronounced that right. Who says this is great at 6 a.m. on the Sunday morning. I'm listening from India.
I'm glad he's enjoying.
Thank you for enjoying it, though.
Now, I don't listen. Now, my whole thing isn't going to be refuting TSS's points, because I'm not that kind of guy. But there's some bullshit in there that I'm not going to stand for. All right. The first thing is the Japanese nonsense, for one, because one of the examples you used was an episode that most people universally like anyway, which is the Slow King in the fucking Koi King episode. Most people like. I don't like that episode. I actually am, but I recognize I'm an outlier in that situation. Most people like that episode. So
and I like it too.
But what's the excuse if people don't get it when most of the American fans like that episode? The second thing is you use the Krogunk and Piplup episode. Listen, the Japanese isms does not excuse bad writing. Repeating the same joke with
and I never said, hey, when did I fucking say it was good writing? It wasn't.
No,
I didn't say that.
To be fair, he never said writing. No,
I never said writing. I never said fucking writing, dude.
The point I'm making is it doesn't excuse bad writing. That's the point I'm making.
And I never refuted that. So therefore, you don't even fucking say that.
Why are you getting defensive? I didn't even say you said
because you always fucking do this to me, dude.
Wait, guys, hold up.
Fucking do this to me, man.
Let me get another call.
Let me say one thing. I know this is the Rails channel.
Ben and Raf, welcome to the PokePod.
Hey, it's a lovely chat. It's a lovely chat.
And by the way, we're friends, by the way. So just
let me say one thing. TSS, you know how the fire's on you. Remember Sun and Moon? Whenever I wasn't shit. Welcome to the club. I hope free members.
And I did love the fact that you did have your own freaking Drampa episode moment with the Cinderace one.
I want to say this.
I love that.
TSS, I respect the defense you had only because it reminds me of the exact same defense I had for X and Y during the Sun and Moon day.
Boy.
First time members get a free ice cream cone. I really respect
up the usual XY mention the bingo card.
Because everybody fucking had fucking torches and pitchforks on my ass. This is exactly what happened with me. Now you know how hard it is to defend shit.
The point I'm making is this. I never said that TSS said that it was bad writing. I'm just saying it doesn't excuse bad writing. My overarching issue with Journeys as a whole is that Journeys is insanely inconsistent, which, mind you, kind of fits in line with a lot of other people are saying. But I think even some of the good episodes have one or two things in them that are always fucking stupid. There's never, it hasn't been in a while, an episode that was like 100% good. Even the Eevee episode that I think has really good theming for Koharu, and I think it fits having Eevee.
Thank you for the host.
And I think Eevee having the whole situation where the Eevee who can't pick which evolution it can't really fully evolve, and Koharu, a character who's finding her back. I think that's really good theming. Here's the problem. Why the fuck is Team Rocket in that goddamn episode? It's always one or two things in an episode that completely fucks up the pace.
Wait, that's your criticism for the episode, and not the fact that it's a clone copy of the Lana and Eevee episode from Southern Moon?
I didn't watch that episode. To be fair, I didn't watch the Lana and Eevee episode.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't blame him.
But I'm talking about. But see that also just speaks to you, KG. That's a secondary issue. That it's a repeat of an episode you've already seen. For me, I just think it's bad writing to fucking keep including Team Rocket in episodes where it doesn't matter. Yeah. Also, speaking of the Marsh Tomp and fucking Lyrical episode, which is some fucking dog shit, why is the Team Rocket section? Why is the Team Rocket section better than the lighter half that involves Ash and Go?
I know, right?
The Team Rocket dubbing thing is way better. It's always in every. It feels like almost in every episode. In some cases, worse than others. Obviously, I would view the Marsh Dot one as an extreme example because that's half an episode. But in some episodes, it's always like those one or two little things that drive me up a fucking wall. And the irony is, my favorite thing about Journeys in currently is Ash. I think Ash's characterization is great. I hate how they have to nerf him for the sake for Go to be good in an episode, which is absolutely redonkulous to me. One of the most offensive episodes in this series to me is the reboot episode, the fucking what I call the bye-bye reboot episode. That episode is fucking dog shit. Because for them to get to make reboot and Go relevant, you either had to exclude Ash out of a situation. Did you notice that? Oh, Go went out the first night to look for reboot. Oh, we couldn't find him. But when Ash goes with him, oh, now they can find him. Or the fact that they go through this whole situation where he leaves and jumps on the train and goes, he's better off. And Ash is like, did you even say goodbye to reboot? Like, why did
Wing Cap Man? Thank you for the host.
Oh, hey, Wing.
Thank you for the host. But the point I'm making is just using that as an example. Ash's characterization has been great. I think this is like one of my favorite versions of Ash in a while. All right. But it's like he's so good that the only way Go can get decent episodes is if you nerf him and make him dumb or make him irrelevant in an episode. Or even in the case of the Eevee episode, have him relegated. I almost feel like Team Rocket is a side plot to be used just for the sake of giving Ash something to do. Because he's the best thing about Journeys and we got to have him in an episode. And then you have bad episodes. You have stupid things like the damn Pikachu one where you just completely change the characterization of a Pokemon for the sake of creating conflict. I agree. Ash's mom is literally the best thing about the episode. But it's another episode in which there's something good about it. Even the Koharu little phrases and statements she makes in the episode is all right. You know what my problem with that is? There's no backdrop for it. It's always like, oh, now Koharu's concerned about what Ash is doing when they barely fucking interacted at the beginning of the goddamn series. I don't. Journeys is so. This is like the most janky show I've seen in my life. I think of Pokemon in general. Like even Sun and Moon with its slice of life had the common decency to be like, well, that's what we're doing. We're doing slice of life. Journeys literally cannot make up its mind. But I'll give it credit in some aspects. I think it touches on some of the lore in the games that don't get touched on as much when they're in certain regions. And then
that's when they're in certain regions.
Yeah, that's when they're in certain regions. Once again, Tyrone just proved my point.
Yeah, actually, literally, Sergi, if you're there, don't you have the chart that shows us how many episodes we've been in Kanto and in other regions? Exactly. Or anybody in JPR's like Discord, if you can send me that shit in general, I could prove what that is.
But to finish off and let other people talk,
yeah,
Journeys deserves nothing over a 5 in my opinion out of 10. This first year, nothing over a 5. It's too inconsistent. Go's development too much hinges on Ash being incompetent. Even the Flygon episode, which I think is a good Go episode. Oh, Ash had to be in some emotional distress over the bee situation for that episode to work out for Go. If Ash was in his normal self, the episode wouldn't have worked as well. And even Zapdos, the same stupid shit. Oh, we got to relegate him off to Team Rocket because if they're together, then he's not as competent. That's what it feels like with Go for me personally. But it deserves nothing over a 5. Nothing over a 5. That's just me though.
Oof. All right, man. Let me see who we got here. I know we got Polly. Polly, I know, and well, Tyrone. Also, I want to make sure on your end, Tyrone, because I know you stated before you might have not been having the chance to stay here all this time, just to make sure if everything's okay on your end there.
I'll go limited time.
Yeah, let me pass this one on to you then, and then I'll pass that one soon to either Rich or Polly.
Terrell took basically a lot of what I said, but I'll say this: to me, Journeys. When I first heard the announcement of what Journeys was going to be doing, I got excited, and then at the same time, I started thinking in the back of my mind, because their focus was having Ash and go around to different regions. The problem with that, though, is when you have that happen, you're going to get a lot of people. They're going to expect him to do stuff that he did before or go back to stuff that was done before, which means you have to go really far back into the backlogs of Ash's old series, which I don't trust that they can do correctly. Hell, they've proven that even within the confines of older series, they can't really do that correctly. So it was a very risky move to me. And the only exception that I feel has been made was Sun and Moon. But woe and behold, that's easy to not mess up because it just at the time that Sun and Moon was introduced, it was still the newest series. It still was relatively new. So of course they were going to get that right. But when they did a callback to like the Karina stuff, I frankly did not like that episode. And a lot of people wanted to know my opinions of that episode. And I'm like, it was very underwhelming. But woe and behold, it was underwhelming because when Karina was reintroduced, they went ahead and it's good that they showed that Ash was, I guess you could say, stronger in that case, but it was bad for Karina because Karina is one of the few gym leaders that actually traveled with Ash for a short amount of time in that series. And they relegated her Mega Lucario, the one that she fought so hard to master, the one that bit her freaking arm because it disobeyed her at first. And it got like destroyed by Dragonite in less than a few minutes. And it's like, that's not a good representation of who Karina is. And then you add salt to that wound by having her off screen lose to B and B state that she's not even strong enough.
Oh, may I add something real quick to that?
Yeah.
I just want to add one last thing that I think people often neglect or never bring up. You guys recall the reason why the Karina versus Ash battle was such a big deal, right? Because that was the moment that Ash was going to move into the super class.
Oh,
and then they neglected all that by having him lose to an NPC trainer and shot himself back down to the beginner class.
Yeah. So even that fight didn't have any weight behind it. So it's just like the problem with Journeys to me has always been it's very reliant on longtime fans knowing what happened. But then every time it tries to jump on something that happened back then, they stir away from it, or they'll tease it in the most vague degree. Piplup and Krogunk, Sinnoh references to Dawn and Brock. No, they're just NPC mons that have a jealousy complex. Marshtomp and Ludicolo, Brock's mons. Nah, they're just here because Marshtomps are too stupid to use water gun and get themselves out of fucking mud. It's like you tease Polly. I'm on your side on this one because they teased Brock's mons, but they didn't.
Thank you.
So it's like I think Bisky's episode was good because it's like, oh, they reference Lieutenant Surge, but they reference him alone, and that's it. They don't try to bank off of your nostalgia of Lieutenant Surge. He's mentioned, but after that, Journeys is doing its entire thing. Journeys doesn't have enough confidence to stick with its own formula. It feels like it has to piggyback off of stuff that longtime fans knew. But then by the time it does the piggyback references, it immediately runs away from them. Why advertise the Mewtwo's from the movie and the Mewtwo Return special? And then the minute he shows up, he's like, hey, what you doing here? Let's fight. Like, what? What?
Yeah. He didn't even say Ash's name.
That's
no
all
context for it.
Are you serious? Like, I'm
By
sorry.
the way, they actually re-aired that episode for like a Christmas battle and guest special, and the only thing new was the fucking trailer at the end. It wasn't even they didn't even fucking do it, so they did this shit wrong. Even fucking X and Y and Sun and Moon had fucking New Year's specials, and they fucked this up.
actually like when the series tries to develop an identity of its own. And like, for example, in the Squabbit episode where we got to see what's her name? What's the blue-haired chick's name?
Oh, you mean the assistant, the professor's assistant?
Yeah, her.
Oh,
Yeah, her name.
I forgot her name.
I like that she had her own like little quirk of loving watching eating competitions, and I wish we could see the new cast more. The new
or Krissa.
Yeah, Krissa.
Yeah, Krissa.
The new cast definitely shows that it can get its feet off the ground, but they got to leave this old mentality where I feel like Ash could very well be a part of this new cast, but you got to let the new cast grow, and that doesn't mean keep Ash in a fucking hole for 15 minutes while Go does most of the fighting along with Koharu.
Mm-hmm. Also,
because that's the Eevee episode. Ash is in a hole for like 5 whole minutes.
I was gonna say.
I've got a question for you, actually.
Okay.
I'll go with Gitchy.
I wanted to just update real quick on the episode count. Sergi got it for me. Kanto got 25 episodes. Johto got 3. Hoenn got 5. Sinnoh got 2. Unova got 2. Kalos got 1. Alola got 1. And Galar got roughly 10 episodes. And they're not sure about the Mewtwo episode because nobody knows where the hell that Mewtwo episode is at. So, it's in Lost World, you know. But Ben, I'll pass this on to you now, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you guys feel about Ash only having Pikachu on hand most of the time? He doesn't bring out other.
I don't like it at all. I was just
don't like it.
I don't like it.
I thought Sun and Moon fixed this problem.
I know, right? It's like, why go out of your way to give Ash all these fan favorite Pokemon if you're not going to utilize them?
Yeah, it's like what the fucking Pokeballs weigh like fucking 50 pounds. Like fucking take them.
It tackles my next point. A lot of people got mad at me because I was indifferent about Ash having Gengar and Dragonite, and I'm like, the reason I'm indifferent about this is because I don't feel the show's confident enough to be able to fully utilize them.
They're barely characters.
Because they're not Ash's Mons. Like, to me, they just don't feel like Ash Mons. I think
the biggest problem is that they just don't have enough time to have focused development. It's just, and then we have to like I have to fucking wait. I have to fucking wait like 15 episodes just so a Pokemon that Satoshi called like in like episode 10, like fucking Dragonite, to fucking just see him again, and then it was like barely any fucking development. Oh, he hugs somebody. Like, what the fuck, man?
The fact that I have to scream in hype when I see Gengar appear in that Galar 4 episode thing should tell you exactly the issue we have with the Pokemon at hand. The fact I got excited for a Mon in Ash's team that isn't one of them that's in the lab. No, it's one of his Mons in the current generation. Yeah, that's a glaring issue that this series needs to resolve.
I'm like so indifferent because I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna look. This isn't a good look to me. It just doesn't look good. And lo and behold, I was proven right because he barely uses them. And like, one of the things I've always enjoyed about Ash is that he can take an essentially weak Pokemon and make it better. That's been his gimmick since I want to say Gen 3 is when they really had him do that.
Yes.
Yeah, in Gen 3, he can take basically a Pokemon that had little to no potential and make it strong as hell. The prototype was there in Gen 3, and then Diamond and Pearl really sealed the deal with Chimchar. And then after that, it's been like a thing where he can take the weak and essentially make them strong. So I don't like that he's pushing these others to the back to make Riolu strong. And it's like, great, that's great for Riolu to Lucario. It's terrible if you're literally anybody but.
Thank you, Donnie.
Especially terrible if you're Pikachu when you spent an entire arc having Ash and Pikachu celebrate the fact that they care about each other so much, give them their own exclusive Z move, only to have the next region show that Pikachu's jealous because Lucario had a little bit more screen time than Pikachu did. And I don't
even think it was that grating until we saw Pikachu get knocked out so fast against Mewtwo, and there just began the Lucario battle.
And I'm just like, this show has a problem. This show has a big problem with commitment because it's trying to please everyone. That's its biggest issue. It's trying to please everyone and no one at the exact same time.
What doesn't help is that the ratings haven't gone up.
It's trying to be funny like Sun and Moon. It's trying to be action-packed like X and Y. It's trying to be plot-heavy like AG and it's trying to be plot-heavy like AG. It's trying to be character-heavy like Best Wishes. It's trying to have like all of these like little things, and it's trying to carry like each of these elements, and it can't hold everything at once. That's why And no offense to TSS, I know you mentioned it before in a previous podcast, but I don't like that argument where it's like, oh, this is gonna come back. This is gonna come back. Well, this is gonna come back. Well, they're gonna come back to it. Well, how many times?
Because I have a little rebuttal to that, and the reason why is if you look at all of the meta series so far, you got to consider that some of them had a really bad start and got better at the end, and some of them have a great beginning but went to shit at the end.
Yeah, but then that requires me to sit up there and hold my suspension of disbelief for so long for plot that should have been tackled.
Yeah,
like,
and you know what?
It's trying to excuse bad writing. Right. That's my problem.
Right. No, it's not. No, it's not that. It's perfect. It's perfectly fine to have that kind of an opinion, but it's like, I think the thing is like, it depends, ultimately, and I will say this, and I still say it's a controversial thing. It's like, that's why fanfics and freaking, you want to do your own thing, go to the fucking break an OLM and fucking write your own sakuga. But it's like, if they're incompetent, fine. They are incompetent. The only thing is, will they fucking see this and will they actually improve? Sometimes the answer is yes, but sometimes the answer is no. But that's the thing. I'm a patient person. I gave every single fucking show, every single series a chance. And I'm going to stick this until the end. Mm-hmm. Will my opinions change? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm the person who wants to stick to it, even if it might be shit, because I'm a true fan.
Yeah. I mean, the future is unknown. That's been but I'm reviewing what I'm given right now.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, you're right. You're absolutely right.
What the show is giving me, and what the show is giving me right now is a bunch of incomplete, inconsistent ideas that haven't come full circle and have left me on to be continued. At least in the first half of other series, there have been some things that have come to a close that have left me more or less satisfied with how they've done at this point. Even Best Wishes has had some stuff that's closed its chapter that I felt did relatively well. Here, we just have to keep relying on the show to remember that these things exist. And I'm like, the show can barely remember the stuff that it's trying to reference. Like Chuck came back, and I almost felt like there was no need for him specifically to come back.
And also, we lost 6 episodes because of the Backstreet Boys in terms of timeline. We were supposed to be 6 episodes ahead now, but it's of course, it doesn't excuse the bad writing, but we might be in a different position now. We might have had those episodes come up before the end of the year. And the other thing was the whole Pikachu episode where Go gets Raichu, right? That was supposed to air at the same time, just about maybe a few weeks before the Pikachu outbreak was supposed to happen to promote that. But then, of course, everything fucked up. So again, it's... But again, for references, people won't understand.
My thing is, and that also bugs me because this is at the beginning, I thought they made it sound like, oh, this is supposed to be a series where a new adventure happens almost every week because more people are on the go, more people are on the move, less people are watching plot heavy stuff and more episodic stuff. Well, if that's the case, why is there so much unfinished shit? Why even do that? But for me, I'm giving I'm on the same boat as Terrell right now. I'm gonna give it a 5 because there hasn't been enough to make me really go, yeah, Journeys has definitely done it for me. But whoever's next, go ahead. That's just my opinion as of right now.
Polly.
Okay. Well, actually, no. Richie. I believe it's Richie's turn, and then Polly's after that.
Richie,
yeah.
Because she talked. That's why I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Richie, if you are there, buddy, let's pass this one on to you.
I'm not gonna try to use the roller coaster analogy because we've run that to the fucking ground. But I will say that it's been a zigzag for me. There's been moments where I'm in awe, and there's been some moments where it's been going
been a grounded roller coaster.
So I mean,
no, it's been derailed. The power went out when he was on the uphill climb.
Yeah, well, that's the electric bill I forgot to pay. Sorry.
Shit. You pay for the park?
Hey, listen, maybe that's why the series is in the fucking mud pit.
Man, I hate to see your electric bill every month.
Well, I mean, it's counting.
That's dedication right there.
All right, fair enough.
All right, Richie, that's the
not the comedy and the laughter aside, I do agree with the rest of my colleagues in the sense that the series is a little bit inconsistent for me because, like I said, there've been some good moments, but then there's been some like bad moments. Like for example, just to point out the good moments, I did enjoy the evolution scene of Rio to Lucario, and for Ash to finally say, the Aura Sphere in Japanese when it's actually his. I thought that was a pretty nice moment. And when the episode came out, the community seemed to at least agree, from what I can tell, because it was a nice moment and it was something that was, I guess, not necessarily years in the making, but years in the making in the sense that, oh, it's finally his. Because remember, it started with the movie 8, and then all the way through of the mentions and appearances by the man. But one of the bads that I like to mention is just, and we briefly we talked about it for a little bit, but I always like to speculate about his team every region, because it brings out discussion, it brings out the theories, and it brings out the possibilities of what he could do. I do agree with the notion that this team is not necessarily a Ash type of team. This feels like a type of team where they just let someone from Twitter on a random submission contest be like, hey, you get to decide Ash's team and we'll put it in the show. It's what it feels like. And one of my main concerns is that, one of the main concerns will be highlighted when the whole Dracofish and Dracozolt, I think that's his name. Yeah, that. So I think my concern will be highlighted a little bit more if it happens that way, where if you bring in another member, especially Dracofish or either one of those guys who are pretty popular Galar Pokemons from what I can tell, even fucking Dracofish and competitive, Tyrone would know. But I just want to know, how would they handle the proper balance of training, attention, and just how they care for the members. And so far, they're not doing a good job of it. Like to me, I don't feel like they are. Look, obviously you gotta give the attention to Pikachu, Lucario, Dragon, all that bullshit, because Pikachu, Lucario are like one of the popular Pokemon in the franchise. That I understand. But the way that they've been handling it with the other less known Pokemon compared to those two has not been very adequate. Like, it's been one of my main concerns for any new future member, even if the next future member would be a popular Pokemon, even if it was like a Pokemon that no one cared about. I'm very concerned about how would they handle the proper training. And the comment I wanted to make about Farfetch is that, yeah, I know we saw that little thing in the preview where he's fighting the dude from Kalos, the Elite Four, whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah, Wickstrom.
Yeah, Wilkstrom.
Wilkstrom. Yeah. By the way, he's good at Masters. Go get him. But no. But basically, my sort of concern from before, when I had it with fucking Score Bunny into Rabbitfoot, that concern where I felt like the whole evolution is rushed. Now, of course, I know this is a very judgmental call to make, considering we don't have much to go off of. But if this is the route that they're going to go through again with Farfetch, and again, I could be wrong. I just feel like I just don't know if I would like that, because first of all, the thing with Farfetch earlier with the fact that he wasn't even the fucking opening unless we have to full shut the motherfucker in. Like, if we have to do that, why are we giving him an evolution that quickly? Like, I would rather see him go through a few more episodes of like significant battles,
thank you for
important training episodes before we even get to the whole we'll evolve him type of thing. Now, again, I could be wrong, but usually they surprise us in this series at the very least on, you think we're doing this, but instead we're doing this. So I think one of the goods for sure is just the fact that they're exploring some of the stuff that, in terms of lore, that the anime hasn't really mentioned a whole lot before. So I appreciate that a lot, because I'm someone that's very appreciative about the lore, and someone who has that kind of love, especially from the games where they obviously tell you outright. So I do appreciate that kind of outreach. Unfortunately, I guess one of my other bads before I get to the whole score is that how are they going to handle the whole fact of making Ash a good character when, as mentioned before, he kind of has to be dumbed down a bit just to fit just to make go look good. I've never been a big fan of those type of things, especially with a fucking character that we literally have seen for like 7 generations of media, basically. So I mean, because I get the statement about, oh well, we wanted to focus this first year onto their development, which for Go I understand because he's a brand new character. But for Ash, I feel like you don't really have to do much with him because we already know what he stands for. He's an established fucking character. So I don't know what else more you could tell me about him that I already don't know throughout these 20 plus years of the franchise through the anime. So I just don't know what else you could tell me. I mean, unless there is something, then tell me. But other than that, I don't really understand that part of the statement. But overall, I will give it a 5.8 just to be a little bit generous, but that's all I'm going to give it. I do hope that this series does understand where it's going to go, because I do think it has a little bit of an opposite problem that I had with Sun and Moon, where I feel like for the first half of Sun and Moon, they didn't really know what the fuck to do. Meanwhile, what I think about Journeys is that I think they know what to do. They just don't know what kind of route, if that makes sense. Like they have an end goal in mind. They just don't know how to get there. They're like, do we go to route A? Do we go to route B? And then when they go to route B, they're just like, oh shit.
I hope that they have an end goal.
Well, the thing is, though, I technically think we don't even have any freaking end goal. I mean, if you think about it this way, we have too many. The problem is we have a crossroads, but the problem is there's like fucking 11 fucking paths, and the problem is they don't lead to each other, and it's like, where the fuck do we go from here?
Okay, well that part of it I will still stand by, because it feels like to me they'll go on one route, and then halfway into that route they're like, oh shit, let's go back and go through the other route, and then they'll keep doing that.
So it's gonna be like that Gintama episode where you see the fucking anime, the explanation of anime versus manga shit, right?
Exactly. Nailed it right there. I mean, but overall, I give it a 5.8, which I know is pretty generous considering the atmosphere that we've been giving it. But I am really banking on the fact that they understand. I mean, not more than just understand, but more so like execute on what they can do to actually make Journeys a more developable series. So I'm looking forward to that. And lastly, I would just like to say that, I think if they play their cards right, they know, how to make this series better than year one, because I think year one left a lot of open-ended things that could be improved on.
Right.
If they know how to play their cards right and they know what they have in hand, I think this series could be really damn good. But I'm not seeing that right now. I see the potential, but there has to be more of a potential. I need to see more of a potential. I need to see the actual meat on the plate. So that's it.
Well, the other problem I want to get into real fast is because since technically the series isn't going to be hinged by Game Freak directly, my concern is, how the fuck are they going to handle the DLC shit? How are they going to handle Crown Tundra? How are they going to handle the Isle of Armor? What's going to happen with that?
Or I do want to give a quick prediction after you're done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, the biggest problem is Game Freak is on a faster cycle now, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons they wanted to make it episodic. The only problem is when they don't have a real plot. Since they have too many fucking things that they can too many avenues that they can explore, just that they don't have a real focus. Like we've mentioned, Satoshi didn't even get his fucking goal until episode fucking 12 of this series. So it's like they didn't know if they wanted to go with the Galar stuff, because the Galar stuff, relatively the whole story of Galar is pretty linear. And it's not as fleshed out as other regions. I think we all agree on that. The other thing is you have to time these DLCs, and what the fuck happens if there's going to be another game, like a remake game or something? Then they have to say, whoa, we have to stop and we have to go and do this because we have to do promote buy our toys shit. I don't know. I don't think I can trust the current batch of writers to actually shoehorn all this shit in a timely fashion where it makes sense.
I do want to offer a quick prediction before we hand it off to Polly, who's been waiting. But here's my prediction about that. I feel like based on what of how they're handling the writing, I feel like this is what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to go through a few more of the Goari characters, more specifically the gym leaders that we haven't seen. Then they're going to go to the whole DLC stuff. And then, for whatever reason, they're going to jump back from that, back onto the main fray of Goar to finish up all the other characters that they feel like it's necessary. Although I do agree with the sentiment that, of where the hell is Hop, the champion's brother? Where the hell is the D? Like, where are those guys? I feel like they're going to go back and forth, because I feel like they're trying to cater. They're not only trying to cater the people that want to see it, but they're also trying to juggle between a lot of things that they know that they can't handle, but they want to anyways, just to satisfy folks. Which I appreciate the dedication, but you have to focus on one thing, because if you don't,
okay, Zach, thank you for the follow.
Oh, thank you. But if you don't focus on one thing and you're trying to go at two things at once without even realizing what the fuck you're doing, then it's just gonna be a mess. I think it's just gonna be a mess. So I really hope they have a sense of direction for next year and beyond with Journeys, and not just Journeys. I mean, for how long this franchise is gonna go in the anime. But that's it for me.
I mean, the biggest thing is Rick is like 52 now. So then again, though, you can't really say that, because if you think about it, Goku's Seiyu is like freaking 80 something. But I don't think it's gonna be that long. I don't think it's gonna be that crazy.
But yeah, I'm done for now. I just want to offer my 2 cents.
Alrighty. And last but not least in this list, we got Polly. Hey there, buddy.
Hello.
All right, take it away.
I think it's 1 a.m. for the English in this call, so I don't want to.
Nocturnal, don't worry, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm woke.
I know both of you don't sleep.
Joel for broke.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I'm going to repeat what everyone said, because I pretty much echo the same sentiments here. That being said, though, I don't think it's a terrible series. There's a lot of moments I've enjoyed so far, and a lot of new interesting plot points they're bringing to the table. I want to kind of bounce off something that Tyrell said a while ago, where it's like he was happy when Best Wishes started, because it's like finally they were breaking away from the formula where it's like Ash goes on a journey, he does giant battles, he enters the league, Team Rocket shows up during all the fillers and tries to steal whatever the character of the day's Pokemon is. Like, finally we've broken away from that in the past couple of series. So they have so much potential with the series. It's like they're almost there. They just had to follow through with a lot of this stuff. And what Tyrone said, and the rest of you pretty much, is that they're trying to, it's like oversaturated. It's like they're trying to cram in so many things, but there's a lot of things that are now getting just lost. And there's not much buildup, and it's very underwhelming. Like, I agree with Richie that I think the Darkest Day arc should have been pushed back a little, because we haven't even been introduced to the rest of the Galar gym leaders yet, and we don't want a Hop, if he's going to even be in it, to get the How treatment, because I was disappointed.
Yeah.
It's on a moon, because I really liked How. So yeah, that's one thing. I mean, it was cool seeing Sonia and Leon and Rose, but I don't know. It's just very underwhelming compared to. I don't want to compare it to X and Y, but the Flare arc.
Even Twilight Wings, really.
I know. I feel like the Flare arc has set the standard for what an evil team should be, and that's unfair.
That will be hard. That will be hard to top.
That's unfair.
I think that's my biggest problem, and I for those who don't know, Galar is actually home to a majority of my favorite Pokemon, and I feel like a lot of the Galar stuff is unfortunately getting shafted, because you have to address all these different things, and it's like they're spending the majority of their time in Kanto. It's like I would have liked them maybe to do the research in Galar, maybe taking a few trips to Kanto.
Polly, can you answer this? Because I discussed this last night with the others a little bit, and I just want your opinion, maybe. I feel like this series, the idea that Go and Ash are researchers, are helping Sakuragi with research and everything, I feel that this idea still has great potential and still would have taken off just as well if Ash had did the research stuff in Galar.
Absolutely.
All they had to do was just make it take place in Galar. That way they don't have to keep taking a plane to go to Galar. That way they don't have to see Leon every now and then. They can see him a little bit more constant.
You can use the Corviknight taxi. You know, something in the games.
They can use the Corviknight taxi. All you had to do was make it take place in the same little town that Professor Magnolia has. And then just do research for her. And then that way go with No Sonia a little bit better. That way we don't see, oh, they just met up a couple of days ago. Yeah, they're definitely friends now.
I feel like go ahead.
They could have done, and if they need to tackle other regions, oh, definitely. Why does Zigzagoon look like this in the Galar region, but in the Hoenn region he looks like that? Let's go to Hoenn and find out. Team Yell hopped aboard. Like, they could have done so much, and they were so hell-bent on sticking with Kanto, and the problem with that became, well, now you have to try to please everyone while still being in the town that Ash freaking started his journey in? Are you serious?
But it doesn't even feel Kanto-y because it's like, we don't have Tracy or Gary. Like we don't even have Professor Oak majority of the time. Like, if you're gonna do Kanto, do it right, you know? It's like
even visit Brock.
Yeah, exactly. Even the Matori episode was cool. You even had the continuity with her Sun and Moon squad. It's like, let's see more of that if you're gonna stay in Kanto.
Earlier, TSS brought up the issue of the ratings and how those haven't come up still. They've been on a slide for a long, long time. They just kind of get lower and lower.
Ever since realistically X and Y.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been in a slump for quite a while now, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe they struck gold with movie 20, since that was a retelling of season 1, and they just thought, oh, if we put Kanto on it, then the old people will want to watch again. But I just don't think that plan has worked out the way they thought it would.
Yeah.
I agree. That's pretty much all I had to say. But I will say that I don't hate this series. I think I have a lot of mixed feelings about it, but I don't think it's terrible. I just think it has a lot of potential, and I just want to see that in year 2 or year 3 that they're gonna kind of follow through and give fans what they've been really, waiting for. Yeah.
I am gonna head out. By the way, I do have to head out because I have something else to do. But I do have one thing to say before that.
All right.
Because it is regarding my YouTube channel. So, because of the whole, we talked about it earlier too, though, because of the whole show pro copyrights, and a lot of my reviews of Pokemon X and Y got shot down or blocked weirdly in just selected countries. Not even just like, oh, they're gone. It's just, if you're in Ethiopia, you can watch this episode. I'm like, all right, cool. But because a lot of my XY, weirdly not XYZ, but mostly just XY, a lot of those reviews are taken down now and unavailable to the public. I have decided that for next year, what I'm going to do is that I am going to re-review every last episode of Pokemon XY and XYZ.
Oh, wow.
The reviews will be shorter, obviously, to fit with the new format. So we'll just get straight to the chase, and I'll start saying my thoughts and stuff. I have better technology now, as you all might know. I have a computer now rather than the laptop and the damn movie maker. So I actually have some good editing software now too. I've got a better mic, obviously, since we already talked about the mic storm of 2015. And because of all of this, yeah, Pokemon XY will be re-reviewed. It will look different. It will look clean. And each review will be done in 1080p.
Okay.
So no more of that 340 bullshit. Or
Now it just needs 4K HDR and everything we need.
Right. So yes, new Pokemon X and Y reviews will be on my channel. That is the big announcement that I'm going to make. So YouTube, my YouTube channel will host, I guess you can say, remastered Pokemon X and Y reviews.
Digitally remastered for your viewing pleasure. Yes.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say. Ben, Raph, thank you so much. I'm glad I've been able to have a talk with you guys and been in like Raph. I think it's actually funny. You and I have been in like 3 things in the past 3 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Crazy thing is, I don't think that train's stopping anytime soon.
We were in,
He's trying to replace the electric rodent. Jeez.
Yeah, we were on Zach Christmas Eve. We were on Christmas Day. We were in John's review, and then
now we're here.
stop me from going off on my rant. And then I believe, and then we're here. So it's just, oh gosh.
Well, aren't you both
A blessing, a blessing, a blessing.
And Ben, Dedene's the best Pikachu clone. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to hear it this way. I'm sorry 103 people had to hear the truth, but I'm kidding. No, Ben's fun too. Like, I can't stop looking at Emolga without thinking of Ben now, and it's all thanks to him.
Twitter agrees, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the minute during the Islands of Armor when I saw Emolga, I was like, oh, there's Ben.
I love it that every Pokemon has kind of had a staple attached to one of the Anipoke tubers. It makes me happy.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the freaking and flying Pokemon like hover down on you. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, there's Ben. Yeah, really great to have this crossover with a lot of great content creators, and you guys, that shows how powerful I never imagined that I would go from like, I don't know, I want to say about 40 to 50 subscribers all the way up to 2,000, and I'm here with 100 views talking about Pokemon with like my best friends and fellow content creators. It's been a really fun ride, and I think that's like the core of this crossover and why I love it so much, and why we're doing stuff like this together, is because everybody here, no matter if you agree or disagree, Terrell and TSS, we all love each other. We all love each other, and we all love Pokemon. So for the viewers and you guys in the video right now, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every last one of you. We're on the top of the freaking talk show and podcast right now because of you guys, all of you, viewers and content creators alike. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate the amount of hard work you all have been putting in. And next year, we're going to put in more hard work, right?
Yeah.
Well, KG.
Yeah.
Everybody except KG.
Yeah, except me, sadly. I love the YouTube scene.
You don't need to do hard work. You get lucky every time.
He does. His luck will do the work for him.
Where was the luck when I needed it years ago?
But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna make my leave now. And you guys have fun with the rest of the crossover.
Thanks for joining us, Tyrone.
Thank you for joining us, man. You take care, buddy. We'll speak with you soon, all right?
Yep. See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.
All right, then. So I know, obviously, we are also going the overtime, because normally it tends to be just 2 hours and then we wrap things up. But it isn't really a PokePod stream if we never go overboard in terms of the time things,
We've got a lot of people.
We still need to talk about the trailer.
Yeah, I know. And I'm gonna leave these to Ben and Raf here, because of course they are our friends that are joining for this week. It only feels appropriate to hear their take in first, as usual, and then from there we'll just go into a free for all and just see who the hell can get into this. But
okay,
yeah. So Ben, I'm gonna pass this one on to you. Like, the new 30-second trailer had just dropped on Christmas Day. What a great Christmas gift for fans of Journeys, wherever you are. And yeah, we'll see how people think about it. So we'll start with you, Ben. What do you think about the trailer thus far?
It's funny. It happened the same exact way with the Karina trailer. I woke up and there was news. I was surprised to see all of that on Christmas Day. Farfetch'd just getting some screen time finally. That's the thing I'm probably most excited about. Opal, that was a real shock. Her as the next gym leader to appear from Gala.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nessa,
I like that a lot.
my girl. No.
I know, right? You thought it'd be like one of the earlier ones, but no, they're going right in the middle with Opal, and I kind of like that. And it makes sense as well, because we've had, Raph always makes videos about Pokemon merch. There's been Gala, Ponyta, and Rapidash merch for months, but now we know why there was, because I suppose it relates to Opal here, and, Chloe riding on it and all of that, which I think she might catch that Ponyta. We'll see. She seems to be in the same outfit she was in the Fossil episode as well.
I think that's her traveling outfit then, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what else was there? Wilkstraw. I can't say his name, but you know what I'm trying to say.
You see, I'm not the only one.
Wilkstrom.
Yeah. That was. It's cool to see an Elite Four member. It was bound to happen eventually, in my opinion.
Well, not only was it cool to see the Elite Four member, but as far as I'm aware, this is like his first main
his
anime.
main
appearance.
anime.
Yeah.
He had a cameo in the 17th movie, but that was it.
Yeah,
but I
that
don't
was
really count that.
It doesn't count.
That's why we
Yeah.
separate film from TV. That's why.
Yeah, that's fine. But no, it's exciting to see him.
Another thing that interested me was Tutel, surprisingly, because I think that's Team Rockets, and it's going to get some more screen time, and I'm happy about that because obviously we all know how we feel about the gacha here. But even what episode was it? In one of the latest episodes, the gacha didn't even work. I can't remember what episode it was.
You mean the recent
Chloe
episode?
The Chloe episode.
Oh yeah.
Where they had
that's
Teleport
right,
get
Teleport
knocked out
did.
by a double
What the
spark.
fuck?
Yeah, so I wonder if they're like trying to stray away from that now and try to focus on these other ones. Maybe more Pekka will get more screen time as well, which I'll be really happy about because I love seeing these bonds between Team Rocket and their Pokemon. They're not really Team Rocket mons, but it's something at least. It's like Beware and Stuffle, for example. So I'm excited to see
Caliper for
that
all I
change.
care.
Yeah. I think that was everything from the trailer, unless I forgot something.
Oh,
Grookey! Yes,
No,
Grookey!
I was hoping you forget that bastard.
You think we would forget? I don't
Alright,
think so,
monkey
buddy.
Yeah, I know Rap's very excited for that. I mean, yeah, it's here now. I don't really know what else to say. Who do I think will get it? Go.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah.
If
Anyway,
monkey
go ahead,
appear,
Raph.
monkey go. There you go. Just saying.
Yeah, just to echo Benwood's words, I'm very excited. It's good to see Farfetch get the screen time. It's going to be intriguing to see if it follows what happens in the manga and if it actually evolves into Surfetch as well. Opal, interesting choice for the next Galar gym leader to feature an episode like Ben.
Now,
probably
if the
said.
anime is just as good as the manga, then my hopes would change.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. We have to stay hopeful, so we say. But yeah, like Ben mentioned about her, I reckon she'll probably have an influence on Chloe, especially with the Galarian unicorns. And
I mean, it's fine personally.
yeah, I like the fact that Tutel got shown in its glory against the Turtwig as well. That was kind of nice. There was a little gulping scene. Oh yeah, they had the Suicune.
Oh, Suicune, yeah.
Yeah, the Suicune showcase as well, especially to do with the
I
fact that
probably missed it when I was taking a shower, but when me and the boys, and by boys I mean TSS, Tyrone, when we were usually just chilling, we were talking about this for a little bit, and I guess the consensus, at least when TSS, was, oh, maybe this would be like, I guess not necessarily a repeat, but more so like maybe this is like their version of the Planetarian thing into the anime.
Yeah,
but then it turns out it's its own new separate thing, which is pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and also, if you look at the scan, they talk about the two other legendary dogs in there. Although I can't make out to what it said, but you can tell that either they're coming or at the very least something will happen soon with them.
I can't wait for Yusin to fume when he realizes Go caught Suicune.
The translation stated that Suicune's going to be hunted, and it just briefly talked about Raikou and Entei about their stats and stuff. But maybe they'll make a cameo appearance in it as well. So we hope. What else is there? Grookey. Yeah, I'm just happy to see Grookey. It got teased all the way back in episode. Don't worry, Kevin. We'll have a civil debate about this.
KG doesn't want to see any Galar starters, but he has it. But he has them. So I mean, it's like
we have to start playing Brass Monkey by the Beastie Boys. Instead, change it to Grass Monkey. See, I can make music references to TSS.
Oh,
who is Brass?
Sorry,
but there's still.
Yeah, but even I didn't get that one, but it's fine.
I didn't even get it.
I'm uncultured. I understand. It's fine.
But this ain't fucking intergalactic planetary.
Oh,
God. All right, pass this back on
Where's
to
my
you.
Tylenol at? Jesus Christ.
He can't help you here.
No, he couldn't help me anyway. That's besides the point. Go ahead.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
was just
Rap.
saying, yeah, it's just good to see it come through now because it got teased obviously back in the ending credits back in episode 26, and then we got a nice little jab in the foot from the Mewtwo episode where it saw in the fantasy cutscene with all the starter Pokemon. So we'll see what happens with it. Whether or not Ash will get it or Go will get it, I don't really give a shit now at this stage. I'm just happy to see it. So I mean,
just
heck,
like the
maybe
monkey.
Chloe will get it. Yeah.
Hey, listen, who doesn't? You don't watch your mouth.
I will say though, I did
Give
like
it to
the,
Ash. That's all I'm saying.
I did like the theory that TSS gave me a few weeks back in one of our podcast sessions that when it evolves into a thwacky, it beats the shit out of its trainer. And I would love to see that happen in the screen.
Yeah.
You know, like in the intro segment when all the Pokemon are getting together, we were joking about how Thwacky would come in and start whooping Go's ass with the goddamn stick during the photo
I'd be
shot.
fully entertained by that.
That
fine
shit
with
would
that
be
part.
great. Every week we see that shit.
Yeah, I'd be pretty entertained by that one. I'm fine with that.
All right, good. I'm glad we're on the page in that part. But
But I would rather it go to Ash overall. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
okay, and anything else you'd like to add to this thing, Ref?
Not really. No, it's all good. Just looking forward to see what the anime has to offer in the new year, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it when it drops.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to summarize this trailer. We'll see what happens.
I mean, it's a nice little sneak peek, which is always nice to see. But here at this point with me, when it comes to journeys, is that you can show me the XY legendaries going at it in front of the Lumio's tower, but you can show me that. But here's the thing: I look for good writing, good build up, and I look for a good sense of direction. And so far, we don't even have those holes covered. So until we have that, then the other shit just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go really fast. I already touched on it earlier, but I think they seem to be focusing on the right things. We got Opal, we got Legendaries, we got Elite Four members we haven't seen before. We got Farfetch getting development. So I think the pieces are slowly falling into place. And
I hope so. I pray.
Year 2 is usually, in my opinion at least, it seems to be kind of like the lame duck, forgettable year for most of the anime series. So hopefully this one will be the outlier and things will actually get a bit better. You know, there's not normally as many captures or things happening in the second year because like most of that happens at the beginning or the end where like they're wrapping stuff up. So
not for Go.
Well, not for Go, of course. But we'll see. We'll see.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, that's all I want to say.
This series, like I said, being unorthodox. Just seeing this trailer, the thing is though, you know, as I mentioned before many times on this podcast, that trailers and previews don't tell the whole story. The whole
exactly.
Thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you show me, you know, oh my god, ponies. You know, it doesn't matter if the writing is shit. It doesn't make a difference. Also, people talking about Messon and Inteleon. I'm fucking excited to see fucking Inteleon in this fucking anime.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because fucking, come on, we want fucking James Bond 007 shit. Shoot your water guns at me, motherfucker. You know, that's the way it is. You know, but I mean, aside from that, seeing Wilkstrom is a nice change of pace. Never saw him in the original series. I never saw him. Seeing Opal looks like Opal, but looking more ominous, realistically, because they had like a close up of her face. So, I think the Galore episodes coming up are going to be pretty good. The fossil ones, you know, with Dracavolt, you know, Dracozolt and stuff like that. You know, you know, like I said, you just read a summary. It doesn't tell the whole story. You see a couple of you see a couple of like short scenes that are like 2 seconds. It doesn't tell you the whole story. The whole thing is, how will it play out? Now, is it to drum up excitement? Of course. But the thing is, though, will the track record of this series bring everything down? And that's the answer we do not have at this moment. We have to give it a chance, because it's like, well, it's like you attempting a fucking Olympic dive off of a fucking 10-meter a 10-meter diving board. You don't know if you're gonna land the move correctly, or you're gonna fucking fall and splash on your fucking face and completely fail. So it's like we have to see the attempts in order to make a judgmental thing. So it's like, am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. Am I confident? My confidence right now is like 70%. Because at least in the last I would say 3 or 4 weeks, barring the Mewtwo shit, they do know what direction they want to head. But the question will be, will the Netflix influence be a problem? Or will they just say, okay, we have to wake up now and actually do coherent writing? and that's the whole thing that we have to figure out. What direction? I mean, you have to swing the pendulum, but the pendulum doesn't swing right away. You have to wait until it goes to the other side before it swings back. So we have to just be patient, wait for it, and just take it for what it is. I just take it week by week, and we'll see on January 8th.
Yep, just a couple of weeks away, and we'll find the answers soon enough.
Just to quickly keep mine pretty short. I pretty much agree, kind of in the same vein as TSS, in the sense that like previews don't show the whole thing. At this point, I've just kind of learned with journeys just to kind of sit and wait. So I see things that are interesting, but I'll wait for the implementation. I'll just keep it at that.
Yeah, just trailer can always look good, but the final product can often look like, well, bad.
Exactly.
YouTube.
Star Wars trailers have taught me that.
Mine, oh boy.
Damn.
Mine's also really short, because I have nothing different to say other than I love Opal. She's actually my second favorite Galar gym leader after Piers. Anyway.
All about the poison life. Okay.
All right. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for a lot more Galar stuff. I just want to see more of that. And Dreadnought is also one of my favorite Pokemon. So I'm hoping Team Rocket gets that Choodle.
I like turtles.
Yeah, just big turtle now. I hope Ash gets that disgusting mutant fossil dragon Pokemon that can't breathe on land. Yeah, because I want it whenever he summons it on the field. I want that fish to just start breathing like just in the middle of the fight like that.
Fucking suffocation.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be real here. That shit would have been hilarious.
I'll watch it. I'll just watch it just for that.
Once again, all I ask for is SpongeBob Fishbowl. That's all I want to see.
Oh man, I wonder how it's gonna use his head bash attacks whenever it's gonna hit the Pokemon. It's gonna glass shards are gonna fall on the Pokemon's eyes at that point. Jesus Christ. Well, we'll see what happens though. For now, it'll be something we'll have to wait and see, which is oddly something I've said too many times in these past couple of weeks, but it still stays true till this time. Thanks to the trailer, it gives us just a clear indication of what to look forward to, and I'm very excited for what's to come.
It actually kind of reminds me of one little life tidbit that I live by. I live by the statement, "Life is always under construction." So that's how I go into this, because, like I said, it depends on who is gonna. It's like, well, you gotta wait until you tune in until you see if it's gonna be a flop or is it gonna be a success. And I think that's what this series is unfortunately painting itself out to be. But I hope now they'll have a decent direction. They'll have a decent idea of what direction they want to go with. And now we're actually going to see more Koharu. I'm a little bit more at ease in that respect.
Yeah. I believe with that, I think everybody got to give their message towards what they thought about the trailer, as well as their opinions on the series thus far. What do you guys say we actually go and wrap things up then for tonight?
Sounds good.
Yeah, some people have to go to sleep.
I know, man. And to Ben and Raph, yeah. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for hopping on board. It really is an honor to have you two here.
Thank you so much, Ben and Raph, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
I can say that this is a success. I think everybody here meshes well together. If I could drag Zach's sorry ass in here, I could have done something. Okay.
Can we do this?
By the way, I am going to be on. Let me see here.
Next week, right?
Yeah. I am going to make the announcement that I'm going to be on Zach's video for Sun and Moon next week.
Yeah. The person you would least expect to be on the Sun and Moon thing is going to be in the Sun and Moon thing, and be excited for that, because you old guys already know how he thinks of it thus far. How will he actually write it all down?
You want the bombshell of the fucking year? Is that one right there?
And not only that, but he's scripted.
Oh yeah, I already gave it a dislike at this point.
It's gonna be weird hearing scripted TSS. I'm not used to that.
I think I can guess who the other one to balance him out is gonna be. I don't want to spoil anything though.
I know, right? Raph, you're in it too.
I mean, we'll see. We have to plug for tomorrow's video, which is going to be on Ben's channel, I believe. We have a podcast going up about the villain arcs in the show, which has me,
special guest dogs.
and
Polka Dog.
Polly in there as well. So us three will be in that, along with Zach, Raf, and Ben. So that's also going to be an interesting one. Look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Fun little fact,
spicy
by
one.
the way. Take a look at all the Zag videos out thus far. I believe every video thus far has had a PokePod member. So this thing has been
PokePod
going
member.
on
Yeah.
for the past couple of weeks, actually, with this collab, and we're wrapping things up for the year with TSS for now.
It's been so much fun. Like I just look forward to them every week, especially this past one. It's just like all my friends were in it. I love all
Yeah,
that.
and I think that's the beauty of this whole thing. I feel like we've become from content creators to just good old buddy, just whenever we want to just chat or play games or something. And I love that about the Anipoke scene. Everyone's very welcome with one another, and I hope that with 2021 and things maybe getting better for the world as a whole, we can continue to do things like this on a much larger scale and have all of the other Anipoke content creators also joining on the fun. Not in one voice call, mind you, but like just having collabs and shit like that.
We don't want to have like fucking 25 people in one call. It's
Oh
gonna
my
look-
god, I've
it's gonna look-
seen.
it's gonna look fucking-
We,
It's gonna look like the fucking system launch for fucking.
the only time that ever worked was it Among Us, and that's just it. But that's also
Yeah.
because
Oh,
everybody's
it doesn't work
quiet
with Among
until
Us
somebody
either, don't lie.
dies.
It does not
you don't
work.
have people like talking over each other. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
that's what I've been saying to the boys recently.
Gotta whoop
It
them in
works
the,
well.
Next
It works well.
crossover pod. Let's get some Among Us going. That should be fun.
yeah,
Oh
indeed.
God!
the game that I hate the most. Let's play fucking
Pokemon
Cuphead.
X Anipoke Bros crossover for Among Us.
You would never play it. Just is the problem.
No, I want.
You want to play
I want
Cuphead?
a Cuphead challenge, man.
Well, I mean, yeah,
everybody
that's a
play
different
Cuphead
lifestyle.
race.
No, absolutely not.
Aw.
After
But
those
this will
videos
be
last
my only
night,
excuse to
fuck
play
that.
Cuphead.
the reactions, the rage reactions to those are
Yeah,
the best.
fuck that.
Yeah,
He's on a whole mood today.
he's
No,
loving
because-
that.
because-
He got me
yeah,
to buy
Cuphead-
that game, man.
Go,
Oh, did you actually buy it?
Yeah,
didn't know you
I
bought it.
haven't played it yet, but I bought it.
It's
You
good,
gotta
but
play it.
Can
Well,
I
KG
tell you
referred to
something,
that.
KG?
Yeah.
We sell a shirt in the store that's a Cuphead shirt, and I was gonna get it, but unfortunately, it was only a women's shirt.
Oh.
I
All
mean,
the
have
women's shirts
you
look
seen?
nice.
KG has a slim figure, right?
Yeah, of course, man.
No, but oh man, no, I meant in the style was. What? Would it be a PokePod stream if I didn't
Oh my god.
dig my own grave?
Well, then, Polly, you should buy it for yourself and wear it to
I've
represent.
never even played Cuphead before.
You haven't played a lot of games. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good anime shirt. You'll love it.
I want
It's good
to also
animation.
say it's been 2 hours and 46 minutes, and there's still 79 people here. So thank you very much for.
We appreciate
watching.
the support.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Love you guys.
you all very
We
much.
love every single one of you guys.
And remember, folks, we are on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's in the United States of America.
Are we doing
So
it
if you
this
want
Monday?
to, not doing this Monday. No, it's gonna
okay.
be
No,
Monday
no.
next
This is
week,
the
but-
final session of the year. So
right,
2021,
yeah.
we will
Wonderful.
return. The PokePod will return in Endgame. But for
Which is
now,
why it's the
What a
last
way to
one.
go out.
for now, though,
We will
before
be back actually. We'll be back actually on January 4th, or you want to do the one after that since there's going to be no episode.
We'll
or
do
what
the
do you-
fourth
do you
one
want-
just to have
We'll
a little
do the
shit.
fourth,
to-
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you never know what kind of shit will show up on this upcoming week, especially because the space thing is supposed to be happening. This
Oh
week.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Time for people's
Thank
hopes
you
and dreams
for-
to die.
linking that Donnie, as
Wow,
well.
damn,
But
What?
last thing to note before we wrap things up, I think it's only appropriate we give these boys here an opportunity to shout out their channels and just let people know where you can find them at. So, Ben, we'll pass this one on to you. Where can they find you at?
They can find me Entity Maze on YouTube. Also, there's a guy called Lumio Zach, but don't check him out. Okay, don't. All right, thank you.
Wow.
I'll send them White Castles in Gravens. It's okay.
And as for
Go
you,
on.
Ref?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube under the username ThePokeRaf.
I thought you were MJTV.
Oh, don't leak me.
Do I smell a streaming duo in the future?
Oh my god. Yeah, all right. So,
But yeah, thanks again so much for having us, Kevin and the guys.
and thank you
everyone.
guys
It's
for
just been
taking the
very-
chance to even
Thank you guys for
come in.
joining us. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
We'll do it one day again, Polly, like you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, though, let's make this one special by keeping things the way they are, you know?
We won't keep you up as late next time.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised
We'll
you're
try
wide
to.
awake.
I have one more thing to say. We're really trying to get our new Twitter account going. Not to like change the subject. be sure to follow it. It's I linked it. It's the PokePod. It's at the PokePod World, and also be sure to follow
Yeah,
our
I
YouTube
can hear.
channel. What?
Mhm.
PokePod.
No, I
World.
heard the clicks.
Oh, yeah. That's just me going to follow right now.
You don't follow. Wow,
Wow.
I know, right? How
So
horrible.
KG
am I?
doesn't even follow his own shit.
man, that's some shit, yo.
That's why he
What a
wasn't
great
in the
host.
podcast we recorded.
I know, right? What happened there, man?
hey,
You
you
just-
think
You
that's
get too
bad?
much recognition, bro.
I got the fucking short end of the stick because I was only in one. Count it.
Yeah, don't worry. We've got that video
Actually-
plan with me, you, and Polly one day.
No,
I know.
Yeah,
also,
I'm not
technically, we're
I'm just
wrapping
saying
things
in the
up with
time.
you, TSS, with the Zach thing at the end of the week. So count that as your second one, if you like.
Yeah, two. Number 2, like most of this shit. Like,
Exactly, man.
We
But
will do our thing eventually.
yeah, but and
Yeah.
also since we're also taking that
I'll
into
force
account.
you to do it, Ben. You don't want my favorite character.
gonna put you right through the fucking meat grinder.
Oh my god. The entire Anipoke
While,
just
while the
took
while
it
the
from-
Cuphead big band songs play. That's-
Do-do-do-do-do. All right, so let's go call it a wrap then. Thank you
Alrighty.
everybody for being with us here tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed the PokePod session of the week. Of course, it is the end of the year. We wish everybody happy holidays, happy new year. May 2021 fill you with love and all that good shit because we all need it in this time. And I hope 2021 will lead great things for the Anipoke scene. Even better than this year, man, because this year definitely for the Anipoke side of things, I think has been at its peak. And I hope 2021 will continue to deliver that and even bring some more unique and amazing crossovers that you wouldn't expect. So until then, though, we'll go and wrap things up for tonight. My name's KG Prestige. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll talk with all of you guys later in whatever video we make. Take care, everybody, and as always, make sure to have yourself an awesome day and an awesome new year. Bye, everybody.
Wash your fucking hands.
We'll see you next year.
Have a great night.
Year.
1, 2, 3 with banter teammates.
Teammates.
1, 2, 3.
Da-da-da,
with
da-da.
the PokePod Bros. I don't know.
Oh, I should have said that.
Don't worry, it's still
No,
recording. We got
it's
it.
okay.
We got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.